Welcome, ghosts and ghouls. It is that time again where we gather around the holler goblin and we tell spooky stories. I am your host, Sarah. I just realized I never say that. I should say that, but I don't say that. But maybe I'll start saying that. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to pop in. Everybody's got to have time to get the notification, so we're going to give just a couple of minutes here. Everybody start tapping the screen. Hey, Harry. Let's see here. All right, start tapping the screen and send some hearts. More hearts means more people means more ghost stories. You guys know the drill. Spam the comments with some Bigfoot, some squatches. Hit the share button. Again, we're just giving everybody a minute to get the notification. How you guys doing? How's your weekend going? Hopefully you had a good weekend. Let's see here. Just making sure everything is on and working. Oh, Jesse, about the same as always. Hanging in there. How about you? Oh, dear God. Alright, guys, tap the screen, send some likes. More hearts means more people means more ghost stories. You're having a boring week, Harry? Well, I guess boring is, that's not too bad, though. I mean, at least, nothing catastrophic is happening. Kids driving you crazy. I'll tell you, my cat's been driving me crazy. I can relate a little bit. I don't know. The weather, too. It's been so rainy here, guys. It's kind of wild. Summer college class starts tomorrow. Oh, hey, Holly. That actually sounds really fun, Stephanie. I did like a summer and a winter one time, like a little short in-betweener just for some extra stuff and like a half a credit or something like that. And I actually really enjoyed it, but I'm such a big nerd. Of course I like stuff like that, but that sounds exciting. Hello, Heather. The Story Master. Hi. I feel like you're a new face around here. Oh, thank you, Heather. Appreciate that. I don't know what that little thing is. I think it's something. I don't know, guys. TikTok still confuses me for some reason. I've been on here for a while now, and I still get really confused. Hey, Mary. Oh, you're new here, limited edition. Oh, cool. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you. So, guys, if you are new here, here's what we do. Every Sunday and Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, we gather around the Holler Goblin, and we tell paranormal stories, extraterrestrial stories, cryptid stories, unexplained stories. We do it all. If you have a spooky story, we want to hear it. The guest box is open. If anybody wants to come up and share, please feel free to hop in the guest box. And I will entertain a good troll story, guys. I've been adding this on as a little bonus, as long as it's a good one. It's got to be as good as that guy a couple weeks ago with the werewolf story, though. And that one's, listen, the bar is really high. That was a tough act to follow. Thank you, Harry. Oh, you have plenty? Plenty of spooky stories. We want to hear your spookiest spooky story. That's what we do here. We do scary stories. And it doesn't even have to be paranormal. It could just be some type of really weird, crazy thing that happened to you one time. Actually, one of my favorite stories, I've been doing this for like well over a year off and on. People ask me all the time, like, when did I start? I can't remember if it was last year or year before, but I've been doing it consistently since last fall. But I've been doing this stream for a long time, and one of my favorite stories that I ever heard on here, it's like definitely in my top 5. This person was telling about this spooky old 2-story house that somebody had purchased, and they moved into it with their family, and it had like a weird little door. You know how a lot of older houses have like a little bitty weird door? Well, this place had one, and the kids kept telling them that there was like a little man coming into their room at night and telling them stories and talking to them, and he thought it was like an imaginary friend situation, and it turned out it was a person crawling through this little hole, this little tiny door, and coming into the kids' room at night. And that was terrifying. That story has stuck with me for a very long time. So that's why I always say we don't just do paranormal stories, but we do want to hear your spookiest spooky story, and that, in my opinion, is one of the spookiest ones I ever heard. So hopefully we get some really good stories like that tonight. Last week was wild. It was a little slow, but it's summer. I think it's probably going to be a little slow throughout the summer. But last week was pretty good even still. So yeah, that was a really good story. That was pretty early on, because I've kind of done this stream in waves, off and on, for, like I said, I think it was like a year. I can't remember when I started specifically, but that was one of the earliest stories this go around. So I've been doing it consistently since back in the fall, and I believe he come on last year and told that story, and it's never left my mind. I mean, can you imagine? Holy cow, that's like terrifying. And sometimes stuff like that is scarier than, the paranormal. Alright guys, the guest box is open if anybody wants to come up, share a story. Can be paranormal, extraterrestrial, cryptid, unexplained. I'll tell you guys, we have to manifest the type of show we want. What kind of stories do you guys are you guys hoping for tonight? Type it in the comments. You want like haunted house stories? You want alien abduction stories? Like, what are you guys hoping we get tonight? We got to start like a little trend with this, where we do this every week, like a little tradition maybe. Because if you type it into the comments, TikTok will put us in the right direction to find those types of stories. So, oh, I'm happy you caught me as well. I'm glad you're here, and welcome. Let's see, Jersey Devil, that would be awesome. A mixture of everything. UFO. Yeah, I love haunted house stories. For sure. Cryptid stories. We've had a few Bigfoot stories here recently, guys. We've been getting, I think, what was it, last Sunday? We had several Bigfoot stories, which was really cool. Spooky Woods. You know what? We had a really good Spooky Woods story a couple weeks ago. That one has kind of stuck in my head a little bit as well. The guy said that when he was a kid, they were out playing, what's it called? Like flashlight tag, I think is what it's called. And I guess they ran into like a group of really ominous individuals who were like wearing robes and doing suspicious activities. I probably shouldn't retell that one, but that one was a good one. Haunted abandoned places, yeah. Hey, Cat Mama. Bobby Mackey's, yeah. Yeah, that's, I've heard so much stuff off and on about Bobby Mackey's, and like, the state that it's in right now, like, is it kind of in limbo, or I don't know what's going on. Oh, Story Master, that's kind of spooky. Just got home. Alright guys, guest box is open if anybody wants to come up. Have you guys heard about, just to make some conversation while we're waiting, do you guys know who Stephen Greer is, the UFO guy? He apparently, I'm assuming this was recently, because I've just recently, like in the last 2 days, started seeing stuff on TikTok about it. But he apparently is claiming that he has pictures of extraterrestrials. and I guess he's released them. And I saw a few of them, but they're really bad quality. And it's like, well, wait a second, why is this bad quality? I know you've probably got like an iPhone or something, you know. Eventually, there's not going to be an excuse for taking your paranormal pictures with a potato. But I will say, like, they're interesting pictures. They're for sure interesting. And they're not great quality, like I said, but you can see that it looks like little alien creatures. So you can distinguish them in the images. So, yeah, I'm not sure about him either. Limited edition. I'm with you on that. Now he's been around. I will say this for Stephen Greer's sake. He has been around for a long time in the ufology community. I remember seeing him in interviews all the way back in the 90s with like Stanton Friedman and but I kind of always wondered if maybe he's just trying to like gain notoriety, like make a name for himself. Like I question his motives a little bit. So I don't know really what to think of Stephen Greer. But you never know, I guess. On a different vibration. Cat Mama, that's a good point. Yeah, we're gonna get probably more information about them. Yeah, there's some stuff I wish I could talk about. You know what? I think maybe I could make like a subscriber only video and talk about this because I know, you know, TikTok rules and stuff kind of have to be careful about what you say. But there's some stuff that I would really like to discuss with people about the information we have been given so far and the reason that they gave it to us, because I think a lot of people, you guys remember like in 2021 and then 2022, you know, they had like the congressional hearings and we had like a little bit, there's a reason why they told us that, and it has a lot to do with a law that was passed in the 50s. So they have to disclose that stuff to us. So I think that as more developments come, we will get more disclosure. But who knows how long it's going to take, you know? All right, it looks like we have a guest, and welcome.
Thanks. I'm 29. Scariest thing I ever saw was a basement full of fruit flies.
I mean, that is kind of scary. I'll
Yeah.
admit that's a little. How did you get rid of them?
It was a dirty aquaponics pool.
Interesting.
Yeah. Those things circle you. It took 6 months to get rid of them.
Holy cow.
Yeah. There was a door on the basement, so it was good. Like, my family was safe, but that was the scariest thing I ever seen. One of them learned to talk. True story.
Did you like microwave it or something? Is that why it learned to talk? Like it gained
It
superpowers?
just being in the house with spoken English. 6 months down the line, one of them started talking.
Did you keep it as a pet?
I caught it, but then my girlfriend accidentally let it out while she was cleaning.
That's terrible. You could have been filthy rich from having
Yeah,
like the
no, I
first
know.
talking fly. Come
Yeah,
on, man. You gotta you gotta keep an eye
yeah.
on those talking flies.
Yeah, it said, I'm hiding because I'm scared of you, and flew into a thing of Clorox wipes. And then my girlfriend accidentally let it out while I was sleeping after I caught it, and it flew up my nose.
Well, Justin, I tell you what, we appreciate you so much sharing that terrifying true story with us.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yep.
Have a good
That's
night.
all I had.
A fruit fly. I thought he was going to say it was like a Jeff Goldblum situation where it got in the microwave. Listen, guys, I accidentally microwaved a an ant the other day. I don't know why I had to think of what it was. It was an ant. This time of year, the ants get a little bit out of control in the kitchen, which is not good. Um, I accidentally microwaved an ant, and I felt so bad about it. And I was like looking at it. I was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Like I'm staring at this little teeny tiny ant as it crawls around, and I was just wondering, like, what's going to happen to that ant now? What is the fate of this small creature? Yeah, the ants are wild. Listen, like every time I go for my evening walk, not so much now, but like last month, it was really bad. There are clusters of them on the sidewalk. I don't know what in the world they're doing. I think I Googled it once. I think it has something to do with rain coming or going. I don't know. Um, I really don't care that much about, the lifestyles of ants. So I didn't care to remember what they were doing, but I did Google it. But anyway, I don't know. The ants are a little bit out of control. So you can't microwave a roach. Ooh, oh, I just got like the worst mental picture about that. Hello, welcome.
Hello, hello. I got quite a few experiences, and I normally don't share them because people point the finger, and I bottled this up for a minute. You know, um, I don't know if it was a nightmare or I don't know, but I woke up in a pink room, but there was three white beings looking at me, but their skin was crystal clean white, right? And their skin had like white veins, like bulging out of their skin. The craziest thing though is that their pupils were red, and like the outer thing was white, and I couldn't move. And next thing you know, I woke up like nothing ever happened, and I lost a total of 6 dogs living here, and I lost my brother to suicide. And
TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. Yeah, we can't say that word on here. So, do you think that these were extraterrestrial creatures? Is that what maybe you experienced?
yes, man. And
Extraterrestrials. Have you seen UFOs?
I have footage.
Oh,
I
really?
have
Interesting.
I've been I believed in them for a very long time, and I did a year of emergency response. I did some restoration work for Allensworth, California, and that was a town like after the Civil War. And I swear to God, at 3 in the morning, I heard a little baby in one of the rooms, and I see like little hands like on my tent, like just scraping against it. You know what I mean? I've I had some pretty bad encounters with the paranormal, from scratches, sleep paralysis. I seen this headless woman like trying to choke me in one of those episodes.
Wow, that's intense.
The
Someone in the comments wanted to know, are you near any military bases or nuclear plants? It's an interesting question.
I'm right here, right by the Native American land, in San Bernardino. Um, oh my God, it's a lot because people will judge you, and you do feel alone, and sometimes it's the eyes that I see. My uncle was in the army, and he had his night vision, and we went hiking up there, and we seen somebody, and you know how thermal shows body heat. Well,
Mm-hmm.
this thing disappeared we flipped it back up and we see like a silhouette of a person. You put it on and like nothing. Oh, it's it's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds pretty intense. Well, I'll tell you what, you'll have to keep us updated and let us know how you're doing and how all that is going, and if you have any new experiences. And you may also connect with some people having similar situations if you hang out and listen to some stories with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate
Thanks for
it.
coming up. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.
Wow, that's I don't know how I would handle that. That's interesting. All right, we got the one and only. Come on up. Oh, she's gone. I don't know what happened. Are you the one and only? If you still would like to come up, re-request. I don't know what happened. It disconnected you. Guest box is open, guys. If anybody wants to come up and share a story, we do paranormal stories, extraterrestrial stories, cryptid stories. We just do strange stuff in general. Oh, okay. No problem. Yeah, so hop up here, share your story. Want to hear your spookiest spooky story. That's what I always say. The spookiest thing that's ever happened to you. The thing that keeps you awake at night. That's what we want to hear. So yeah, we were talking about, it seems like, by the way, that we might be on the alien side of TikTok tonight, so we may get a lot of UFO stories. So if anybody out there has any alien abduction stories or some cool sightings or some lost time stories, feel free to hop up here and tell us about it. That's my bird. He doesn't want to go to bed. It's his bedtime. If you guys hear shrieking in the background. Let's see. Oh, there was a question. I thought. We're gonna have to get the fruit fly guy to come back, y'all. Birds and cats, yeah. The disappearing cemetery. Well, that's really all there is to it. I mean, it's a legend. It's an urban legend. It is Kentucky folklore, and as you guys know, I love Kentucky folklore. That's one of my favorite things in the world. That's why I do a TikTok about it. I have a velociraptor. Cat Mama is correct. Yes. Hello, welcome.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I live in Central Kentucky. I have for pretty much all my life, but I have a ghost story. So when me and my husband first started dating, we got our first apartment together, and it was in a shady area of town, but the rent was cheap, so we took it. And we started noticing stuff getting like knocked off, moved, whatnot. And it just got things like you would walk into that apartment and you could just feel that heavy energy, it was just bad. And so one night, like, you could see, it was a 1-bedroom apartment, so you could see into the living room from our bedroom, and it was a basement apartment, so you could see people that would like walk up along the streets. Well, I had got some new curtains, so there was really very little light coming in through that window. We were laying in bed. We had worked the night before, worked night shift, and we came home, and I woke up and was laying in bed, and I seen something black and shadowy walk right across my living room floor, and it scared me to death. And I told my husband. Now, at the time, he said, there is something in there. There's gotta be. I was like, yeah. So, after that, we would find like the Bibles that we kept around. They would be knocked into the floor. I had an old crucifix that was given to me by a dear elderly lady that I loved. It would fly off of the wall. We would come home and find it in the middle of the floor. Well, we were in church. We've always been church people. And nobody at our church believed us when we told them, there's something in this apartment. We can't afford to move, but can you just like pray, try to make it go away, And none of them would, except for the pastor's daddy. He was an old man from Owensboro. He believed us, and he prayed, and it went away. But we got out of there as soon as we could. And that's my scary story.
How big was the entity you saw run through your living room? Was it like animal sized or?
It looked like a man. It looked like the silhouette of a man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was so strange, and like everybody was like, "Oh well." We were going to a Baptist church. They don't believe in like exorcisms and stuff, but this old man, he believed us, and he prayed, and it went away, and I'm so glad that it did. But yeah.
Yeah, that is spooky. Well, thank you so much for coming up and sharing that with us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, guys. Got a spooky ghost story, haunted house story. Let's see. From Frankfurt. Cool. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Got a spooky story for us?
Kinda. Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but southern Oklahoma, we was out noodling one night on the Red River. I mean, I'm not supposed to talk about guns, right?
Right.
Okay, but whatever it was it was 7 foot tall, and it was coming after us, and I can say I threw some .308 rocks at it, and yeah, twice in the chest and one in the head, and it still run off. I don't know what it was. It was not a Bigfoot.
Now,
I don't know
how is your werewolf situation doing?
Dude,
I have to ask.
It's crazy. I live way out in the boondocks, out where the owls fuck the chickens. But damn.
So the werewolf situation, you haven't taken care of that yet, or is it still out there on the list?
One of them, I think.
Did you
I'm
get
not
one?
even joking. I'm not that crazy. I'm an avid hunter, ex-Marine. Wow. I mean, it's something weird going on. Some of my buddies, actual ex-spec ops dudes, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on with marine animals and stuff. There's something going on in the ocean. I don't know what the hell it is, but I mean, why would a bunch of damn animals come to commit suicide? Like
TikTok, this is for
whales.
educational purposes only. I do not agree with the comments and views of the guests.
Well,
I believe Chris lives in Oklahoma, you said, right?
Yeah, I live in southern Oklahoma,
Yeah. There was
out in
someone
the
in the comments
boondocks.
asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a country boy. I mean, I don't mean to cuss. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So tell us about this thing that you saw. You said that it wasn't a Bigfoot. So do you think that
Well, it
this
wasn't.
other sighting was also a dog man?
It is something. Skinwalker, dog man, something. Yeah, like I said, with a capital A and a capital R and the number 10. It got it. Yeah. I know I might have missed its head, but I bumped it and I tracked it. This is insane. I mean, there's all kinds of shit coming up. I've got 200 something pound German Shepherds, and they were freaking out. I mean, they wouldn't even. I had to spotlight his ass and fucking just dump it. It looked like a damn werewolf to me. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Well, like I was telling you last
I'm,
time,
sit,
there are
I'm
lots of
sitting on the
people say
back
that they
porch
have
waiting on it.
experiences with Dogman, and they describe Dogman as kind of like a werewolf type cryptid. So it's a thing apparently.
Apparently, I don't know. Different for me.
Alrighty, well, I tell you, we appreciate you coming up and giving us an update. And if you catch that last dog man that's running loose out there, you feel free to come back and let us know. All right.
Oh, I don't know. I'll set up. I got a new flare system. I got to set up for my M-14, but Thank you. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Alrighty. Thanks. Have a
I'm
good
gonna.
night. oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff that we have to follow the guidelines here, guys. We got to follow TikTok's rules. Well, there you go, guys. The legend made another appearance. I hope you all from the Discord are happy. And he'll be back someday. Someday he'll come and tell us that he has made a lovely pelt out of a dog man, I think. So. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we like it when we get the wild stories, guys. Those are the best. If you're new here, by the way, we do paranormal stories, extraterrestrial stories, cryptid stories, unexplained. As of tonight, we did a mutated fruit fly story and whatever that was a minute ago. And yeah, we do it all. We want to hear your spookiest spooky story. So if you have a story that you want to share, feel free to hit that little peekaboo button down at the bottom of the screen. Come up, join the box. I will bring you onto the stage, give you the microphone, and let you tell your spooky story. Whew. Oh, we've had tons of Shadow Man stories, literal tons. We get a lot of Shadow Man stories, actually. And I was just telling everybody a little bit earlier, since it's turned off nice weather, it's a little slow on here at night. But we used to just have like back-to-back stories all night. So it always picks up after about midnight. We start getting a lot of people come in, but a lot of the stories. TJ, did you miss the fruit fly story? Oh no. I will clip it for you and I'll post it because, yeah, that was a good one. I feel like, does anybody screen record? Somebody should be screen recording these live streams, guys, for real. Post it somewhere. I don't even care where you post it. Like, just screen record it, post it. Oh, gosh. Holly, I know you must be excited right now. I know you're probably laughing really hard. Oh, no, you missed the fruit fly. Okay, I'll clip it and... yeah. That was a wild one. That was actually our first one of the night, so we were already off to kind of a strange start, but I ain't mad at it. I like the weird stories, guys. The weirder, the better. So if you have a spooky or a weird story, feel free to hop in the box, come up and share with us. We want to hear it. We may or may not judge you for it. No promises. It just kind of depends, you know. But we will appreciate you nonetheless. So do come up and do share your story with us. Wowie, wow, wow. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Cat Mama. Yes, let's get up to 15,000, guys. Tap that screen. The more tapping you do, more hearts, more people, more ghost stories. You know how it goes. Let's see here. Cat Mama, I just saw your thing in the Discord. Speaking of which, guys, I have a subscription. You hit the little star. I'm not sure where on the screen the little star is. Maybe down at the bottom by the comments, the little gold star. If you click that, subscribe to the channel, you get instant access to the Discord where we do lots of fun, wild, crazy stuff. You get emojis. You get subscriber-only videos. I do all sorts of perks for my subscribers. Not everybody on TikTok does. Let me tell you guys. A lot of people have subscriptions. A lot of people put the price real high, but they don't give you all the cool stuff that we give you here at the Paranormally Correct community. And the Discord is super fun. We actually, what was that, Holly? Was that Saturday night, Friday night? We did the Ouija board session. Yeah, it was Friday night. We tried to summon something on the Ouija board in the Discord Friday night. We may or may not have had a little tiny bit of activity. Maybe, I don't know, something weird happened. I'll tell you guys about it in a minute. We do have a guest, and we're going to try it again. We're going to do another one and see if we have any luck. Thank you, Eagle. Hello, welcome.
Hey, no, I got a good scary story.
Okay.
One of my cousins, she said that she had something down below her bed, and it was called Cowboy, and it was a really old, creepy old man, and it's kind of like the shadow person.
So it was like a shadow person, but it looked like a cowboy? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I've heard numerous stories about this character, and it was in a documentary before that I've seen called The Nightmare. But it was right at my cousin's bed. Cowboy was a creepy old man. Thought it was weird.
And that's the only place that they ever saw this entity is like near their bed or under their bed?
Yeah, near their bed.
Well, that's interesting. I think that might be a first. We haven't really
Yeah.
had any stories like that. We get a lot of Shadow Man stories and a lot of like sleep paralysis stories and that type
Yeah,
of thing.
this was one of them. Okay, that was the only one I was wanting to tell you. Did you
Okay.
like that?
Well, we appreciate you for coming up.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Interesting. I never heard of a cowboy Shadow Man. Oh, and I think Druid is on his way over. Druid will be here shortly, guys. Trying to keep up with everything here. We got some new people coming in. Hello, everybody. Welcome. You guys tap the screen. Let's get the number up. More hearts means more people, means more ghost stories. And we're off to a very strange start tonight, guys, and I love it. We need more strange, spooky stories. Those are the really fun ones. So if you live on the riverbanks in the American South and you are currently in the process of hunting down a dog man to make a pelt, We want to hear that story. We want to hear all the details of it. If you have a paranormal story, extraterrestrial story, cryptid story, unexplained story, it says glitch in the Matrix, but I feel like we don't really do that one. I mean, we'll listen to it if you have one, and we'll like it, but we don't really get that many of them. But you're welcome to come tell one. Let's see. Spam the chat, guys. Throw some Bigfoot and some lizard people out there. Hit that little share button. I am multitasking like a robot over here. Get a little scatterbrain. Hey, Druid.
Hello. Okay, what did I do? Well, apparently I just did a thing, and now you're little and I'm big. What happened?
If you tap on my box or your box, you can like expand and shrink the view. It just changes the layout.
Oh, apparently it's both. Okay, hold on. I'm going to be right back because for some reason it shows you twice.
Oh, okay.
1 moment. You're back.
Okay. What was that about the Ouija board? Chased by an evil entity of some kind while you're in college. Come up and tell us that story. We want to hear it. Played with a Ouija board. Yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. I'm struggling here, guys. I need like 4 more arms.
Yeah, it did it again. That's weird.
Really?
Yeah. It must just be some wonky thing with me or something. I don't know.
That is weird. Have you like cleared out your cache? You know how it has like a free up space option here on TikTok in your settings?
Oh, not for a while.
That could be it. Like if you do that and like close the app and restart it, that might fix it. Sometimes that fixes my problems.
I'll see if I can do that. That's weird. All right. Uno momento yet again.
Okay. What about the Coyote Man? Actually, we've had some Coyote Man stories, guys. Pretty sure, haven't we? I feel like we've had Coyote Man, we've had everything. Well, listen, we had an impossible story that everybody said would never happen because I kept saying, like, just as kind of a halfway joke. Honestly, I was kind of joking. I would always tell people, like, bonus points if you have, like, a Loch Ness Monster story. And we got a Loch Ness Monster story one time. So we've had it all. We get werewolf stories. Yeah, well, Dog Man. People call it Dog Man. But they describe it as, like a werewolf type thing. Let's see. All right, guys, guest box is open. I believe in Nessie too, but I don't think that Nessie's still alive. I think he probably got old and passed away. And considering how old, like, certain types of, I have parrots, and parrots can live up to 80 years in some circumstances. And then, like turtles, sometimes turtles can live like 100 and some years. So there are animals out there that have really strangely long lifespans, right? So what if whatever Nessie was some type of creature that had like a really long one, and that's why nobody sees him anymore? Maybe he was the last of his kind. Let's see. All right, guys. Keep tapping, keep spamming, hit the share button. Let's get some people in here. If you have any friends or family on TikTok who enjoy the paranormal, send them this live stream. Tell them to come on over and share their story with us. We would like to hear it. My little thing is not lighting up. Oh gosh, Barbie's in the box. Hang on just a second, Barbie. I didn't know you were in there. My guess thing's not lining up. Did that fix it?
Nope. It's okay. I guess I'm just gonna be looking at a blank screen. Well, kind of a blank screen.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I don't know how you would fix that.
It's some weird glitch.
Yeah, TikTok, it seems like ever so often when they do like a bunch of updates, everything gets weird and glitchy. So it
Yeah.
could just be like incoming updates or something like that. We do have a guest waiting. Let me go ahead and bring him up. Bring him up.
Hey guys,
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
what's going on?
Not too bad.
Yeah, you got a spooky
Yeah,
story for us?
sorry I have to whisper. I have a story, but I have to like be quiet because everyone's sleeping in the house. We have final exams coming up. Um, so yeah, so interesting story. So I think I've been on this before. I've spoken to you guys, and so something strange happened last week in my house, and so I'll share the story with you guys. But I'm so sorry. I just wanted to get the host's name because I forgot it.
My name is Sarah.
Hi, that's right, Sarah. Nice to see you
Mhm.
again. Yeah, so I'll start my story. So my wife and I, we had a an event to go to. It was a gala for a friend who's being honored for Catholic Charities. So it was in New York City. We went, and I had to get a babysitter for my son, who's 12 years old. So it started at like 7. It was on a Wednesday night. It started at like 6:37, and so we went. Everything was great. You know, it was black tie. It was beautiful, and uh, so the night progressed. It was actually at the New York Museum of Natural History, so it was pretty cool. And so we're there, we're friends, and the night goes on and on and on. So it gets later, and I ended up driving, so I didn't drink all that much. I just had like 2 glasses of wine, and so I drove because I wanted to be able to come home because it was during the week. And so we got a babysitter, and she's like this. She's this girl down the block. She's like this. I think she's going to be a junior in high school. So really nice girl. She babysits every once in a while. So she did it because she's right down the block. So it was really convenient. And so when I get back home, we called her on the way home. We let her know that we're almost home. And um, so she's like, uh, wait, you guys weren't home yet? And I was like, and I said, my wife was like, no, we're on our way. So she's like, oh, so we thought that was a little strange. So finally, when we get home, um, we go through the front door, take off our coats and everything. Our son is sleeping in his room, and she's on the couch, and she looks a little like she doesn't look. She looks like she was like very very alert. Um, so my wife goes upstairs. She starts, goes to check on my son, and I go to talk to her, and I'm like, because I got to pay her, and so I'm like, did everything go well tonight? I'm like, is everything okay? And she didn't say anything for about like maybe like 5 or 10 seconds. I'm like, did something happen to Connor? I was like, did you guys get in a fight or something, or was he acting up? And she's like, I don't know how to say this, but she's like, about like maybe like 45 minutes ago, um, I was sitting on the couch just reading, and your son was, in bed, and um, she's like, I saw someone walk through the hallway, and I thought it was you. I thought you got home early, and and I was like, what? I was like, it's just we just got home, and so she's like she's like, I didn't know what to say because I didn't know if I wanted to tell you or and I was like, well, what did the person look like? And she said it looked like you, and I was like, that's impossible. And so it was just the freakiest thing in the world. So I told her, I was like, I was like, it had to be like, I was like, had to be seeing something or something, but she was completely convinced that, that we came home early, and I just I went upstairs through the hallway without saying anything to anyone. And she was, after she thought I was home, she looked around for us, and we were nowhere to be found. And then she checked on my son, and he was in his room, and she just sat back down on the couch and just waited for us to get home. So that was pretty freaky.
That is, and I've had like a doppelganger type experience myself, and we've had a bunch of stories. Lots of people have come up here and told doppelganger stories. I mean, that's what I call them. Not everybody does. Some people call them like mimic, I think,
What do
stories.
you call it?
Uh, some people call it mimic, like mimic stories, but I always called it doppelganger. But that is
Yeah.
really strange. And I mean, I had, my whole experience with it was crazy, and it still boggles my mind. And I was actually going to ask you if she said that, like, if it looked like you, and you said that apparently she did. Um,
Well, she didn't see, like, I asked her a little more because I was like, it looked like me, because it really freaked me out when she said it looked like me. I was like, did you see the face? And she said, I just know it was a man. I don't know if it was you. So that, I just don't know if, she was seeing things or falling asleep, or, you know what I mean? And we're in this house for maybe 2 years. It will be 2.5 years in December. So, um,
mhm.
you know, I know the lady that lived in this house previously. She passed away. I'm not sure if she passed away in the house, or if she passed away in the hospital, or on the way to the hospital. I know she was an elderly woman, and but I just, it was just really strange. Like, I was, uh, she's like, I think your house might be haunted, and I was like, no way, it can't be.
It's weird.
So I haven't
People.
seen anything myself, um, I haven't even heard anything. I'm not like, a person who kind of believes in that stuff, but like, actually I kind of do, but I'm like a kind of person who I have to see it to believe it. So, maybe one day I will, but I just thought it was strange because she really did look freaked out. So, do I believe her? Do I not believe her? She's in high school. She was almost sleeping. It was late. Who knows?
So when people say mimic, I automatically think of like D&D or something like that. So I know it more as doppelganger myself. I think there's something within, the Irish changeling folklore that's kind of like that too. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting phenomenon.
There's a lot of, like, in our living room, we have this big, like, window. So, and there's also like a big antique mirror on one wall. So, every once in a while, like, I've sat in there myself, and, like, um, if, like, a car just passes by, just the right way,
Mhm.
like, it could kind of look like a shadow is, like, going across the room sometimes. So, I'm not sure to believe, if I believe her or not,
Right,
but,
right.
but still, she was pretty, like, spooked out. But, just wanted to share that,
Hmm.
just in case, I don't wake up tomorrow and the ghost gets me. You guys call the cops for me.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. I think ghosts are, pretty harmless for the most
No,
part,
yeah,
surely.
I'm just playing. But
But
yeah, but
but yeah, that's really strange. I love hearing doppelganger stories. Like I said, I had one myself, so it's always interesting to hear that other people have them. So we
what state
appreciate
are,
you for.
I was just curious what
Oh,
state you're in.
I'm in Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. Wow. All right.
Hmm.
We totally off topic. We have our previous dog was from Kentucky.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there was a breeder over there, so he was shipped over. But thank you very much. I hope to hear some cool stories tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for coming up.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. That is so cool. I should have asked. Actually, I know some dog breeders here in Kentucky. It would be such a small world type of thing if I knew, like indirectly knew his dog. You know, my cousin actually they breed mastiffs. They do what are they? I think they have like pugs. Um, they've done a bunch of other types of dogs too. Uh, all right. Oh, Boston Terrier. Oh God, I love Boston Terriers. I love them. They are the best. I swear. Let's see. Oh, all right, Slim. We're gonna bring you up. Hello, welcome. Slim, are you with us? Well, I think Slim is not with us, which is strange because I thought they were very excited in the comments to come up. Are you with us? Alrighty, well. Let's bring up Brian. I see some people a minute ago talking about you don't need 200 followers. I think now the number is 50. I'm pretty sure. So if you have at least 50 followers, you should be able to request. Hello, guest. Welcome. Brian, are you with us?
I swear my cat is defective. Every single time he comes in, I have got to show him where his food is.
I've been playing fetch with my cat.
Yeah. So I know
what's
that.
going on with the? Do you hear the guest at all? Like we've had 2 guests now come up, and there's like no audio. So I'm wondering.
It must be something to do with TikTok tonight.
Yeah. Brian, I'm gonna drop you. Come back. Like send another request. Maybe connect again. It'll fix the problem. I don't know.
Oh my
what's
God!
going
I can
on.
see you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's no longer glitched. So while we're waiting for the guests, the meeting that I went to this evening was basically for the Fantasy Festival for the Court of King Arthur, and I was floored at how many people showed up. We had damn near 30 people show up basically to play different roles in as knights and in Camelot and whatnot. I was impressed. And I got to do my debut with all my regalia, so it was kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a fun thing. I never get to do cool stuff like that. I need to get out more and do fun stuff.
I just kind of lucked out on it because I know the person that's putting it on. And I was like, I won't do Oberon, but I'll do King Arthur. And she's like, deal. It's like, okay.
Yeah, Cat Mama wants to know if you got any pictures. You'll have to share.
Unfortunately, well, no. Before I took off, my stepsister did take a photograph. If I can get it off of her, I'll post it in the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing my crown in it because I was like running around and getting ready.
Oh, Jesse says that they used to work at the Renaissance Fair. That is so awesome. I've always wanted to go to one of those. Guys, I'm such a hermit. I never do anything fun. Crazy.
Once you do one, you'll do them all the time. They're so much fun.
I don't know. I think I would kind of dread dressing up because I'm like really bad at that. I never know how to do that, how to pull that type of stuff off. I feel like I would just do it wrong and then look silly. But
no, not at all. With women, it's pretty easy for the most part for like the basic outfit because it's literally just like your chemise, your skirt, your bodice. There you go. You're good.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be so much fun to do something like that. All right, let's try Slim again. See if it'll connect this time. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Okay.
Oh, Slim. That wasn't even good. Like, try harder next time. Somebody block them, by the way. Tully, if you're out there, block Slim so he can't ever come back.
Right.
He's been in the comments like, let me up there, please bring me up. And then he comes up and he like does that twice. I mean, well, I don't know if he did it the first time because we couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Druid, you missed the fruit fly story. Somebody had a mutated talking fruit fly.
What?
It was a glorious story, I have to be honest. You know, I always tell them if you're going to come up to be a troll, make it good. This guy did a good job. And then the werewolf hunter, he was back. He came back.
Oh, what? The one that talked over everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, he came back, and I tried to get him to give us an update, but he was just all over the place. He didn't really have anything solid for us, so I had to drop him. But
Too few, beers into his story, I'm guessing.
yeah, I think he hadn't had enough yet for the night to be able to effectively tell us about dogman hunting. Oh gosh.
Never a dull
All
moment.
right. Exactly. Guys, if anybody has a story, the guest box is open. Oh, we got a person. We caught one. I always feel like it's like fishing. Oh boy. Druid, should we bring Hillbilly Van Helsing back or no?
I'm scared.
Oh my god. Somebody hit the screen record. Somebody screen record this right now. Before I bring him up.
Screen record and also make sure that you're playing dueling banjos in the back.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Let me just do something real quick. We'll bring you up, Chris. Just hang on a second. Just a second. All right.
You should be, Ward. I mean, we're not malicious. We're just kind of goofy. Yes,
All
we're
right.
Cottonhead Joe.
Welcome back.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
My THC levels.
Well, yeah. Hey, by the way, how's y'all's night going?
It goes.
Yeah.
I hear you. Damn, lightning struck earlier, and I can't play my PlayStation 5 for a minute. It had to reset and all that shit, and wow. I live out in the boondocks, southern Oklahoma. We got some bucking bulls. But, man, I'm telling you, there is something out there. No, I'm not bullshitting. I mean, dude, I've seen some crazy shit in my life.
Well, take us all the way back to the very first time you ever saw a dog man or a werewolf or Bigfoot.
Oh, probably 2016 when I got home. And I bought some property and I was clearing it out and all that, bought equipment and shit. And there's just been it's weird. I don't know what the hell that was. My German Shepherds are very, very low. They're ex-military as well. And I don't know. They were scared to death, and I've never seen that.
Well,
And
what do you think it was that was scaring them? Like, what did they see? Did they hear something? Did they,
I mean,
you know?
yeah, Gus alerted me, and Cash bolted. I'm like, oh shit, you know. I figured they was chasing a coyote or something, but or something, you know, or a badger. But
So you think it could maybe also be a badger?
no, it's not a badger. I don't know.
Oh, okay, okay.
I ain't never seen a 7 foot tall badger. I've seen a couple badgers though, just walking creeks around here.
I mean, well, in the grand scheme of things, a 7 foot tall badger may not be that far out of the realm of realistic.
Well, it got two rocks thrown at it. You can't say anything about shooting something, but I followed the blood, went to the creek. I don't know. You really couldn't get any footprints off the thing because it's right by a creek, and it's so hard for me to work and get home and take care of my property and all that. You know, at the same time, I've got, yeah, it's just a bench, and I don't know. I just did. I don't know. I didn't because I don't know. I really don't know. Whatever it was on 2 legs. Looked like one of my German shepherds running on 2 legs. Like no bullshit. Like kinda. It was darker, but oh cash. Fucked hard.
Cat Mom, are you with?
Hold on.
I was gonna say, are you in the room with us, Cat Mama?
Give us a sign of your presence.
Okay, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Okay,
Hello.
Chris. We don't
he's
doubt.
gone now.
Okay, he's probably still listening, so I just want to say this. Chris, we don't doubt that you saw something strange in your woods. My issue with you is you say too many trigger words and you're going to get Sarah struck. If you get Sarah struck, I'm going to find you out and I will fight you.
Don't doubt her. She's vicious.
Like when I tell you stop cussing, stop cussing. There's too many AI bots on TikTok, and they are no joke nowadays. It's not like the old TikTok where you could just run amok. You can't do that no more. There's too many rules now on TikTok, so you gotta chill out. I know you're a country boy and you like to cuss. I get that, but you gotta lay off the trigger words. No pew pews, unaliving, all that kind of stuff. Watch your cussing. That's my only issue. Okay. Also, I wanted to say, earlier we were talking about UFOs, and you said Stephen Greer had some pictures of aliens, and I was saying that the reason why we can never see them clear on videos and on pictures is because they're on such a higher consciousness of that our primitive monkey brains can't even fathom it. That's why like when they take pictures and stuff, they're like blurry and it looks almost fake. But that's just my opinion.
Or hear me out.
Okay.
Aliens are naturally blurry.
Or that.
I'll find those pictures and I'll post them in the Discord so you guys can see them. Because it's difficult to go hunt them down. They're not easily found for some reason. But I'll post them. They're not the worst pictures I've ever seen, but they're definitely not what you would expect considering that like we have all these great phone cameras nowadays. So,
Hmm.
But also, like,
but
do you think like like all the videos and stuff that we've had on the internet for years and years and years? Like, I really think that it's just we're just not on the same conscious vibration as them, and since they're higher in vibration than us, that's why they always come out blurry to us. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that, and that does make a lot of sense too. Um, I don't think a lot of people take that into account when it comes to paranormal, supernatural, anything like that. Is
Yeah.
the idea that because we're made up of energy, everything is energy,
Yes.
and energy itself, of course, on the subatomic level, vibrates. So there's different vibrations within all energy.
Yeah.
So maybe it is very possible that you're correct with that.
It's just my hypothesis. I'm just a suburban girl from Long Island, but that's just my hypothesis.
But it
yeah, it
makes
makes
sense.
sense actually.
So, do we have any more spooky stories? I promise
Um,
again.
we do have one guest.
All right, I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna listen. All right, everyone, come up, tell your stories. Oh,
Alrighty.
one more thing before I mute. I'm not liking this not being able to have 200 followers to come up on the live because now we're gonna get more trolls.
Yeah, but also we're gonna get more trolls, so that's kind of fun and exciting.
All right, I'm muting. Come tell your stories, people.
Welcome, Ginger. Hello, Ginger.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hi, welcome. Good, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
honey.
Yes, I think. Mhm.
I've got. Go ahead. I've got a story, and I mean it happens very often. About 2:30, possibly 3 o'clock in the morning. I have something that knocks on my door, and I've been told, "Don't answer my door." And I don't have anyone that comes by my home at that time in the morning. And I have a, do you know what a frog gigging, where you get frog gigging?
A frog?
Can you hear me?
It's cutting out a little bit. Did you say frog?
No, it's on a pole. It's where you frog gig, where you go and get frogs, the 3-prong thing on a stick. And I've got it sitting by my door. And I've got my pistol under my pillow every night. Been told by a good friend of mine that just passed away a month ago, don't answer my door. It's a demon. So I went bought
it
salt,
sounds to me like
and I have
it
salted
could be a
everything.
person.
Everything.
Do you by any chance have like a
No,
doorbell
honey.
camera? Like,
I looked out the window one. I looked out my window and there wasn't a daggone thing there. Nothing. And I went and laid back down and I heard it again. And I cut my lights on. I've done everything. And there's nothing there. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But now I'm staying on weekends and sometimes through the week with my boyfriend. And he's got his mother's ashes and his wife's ashes. But I don't have any problems with that, and they've never bothered me. When I come over, I cook, I clean, I do laundry, you know, and I don't know, I'm eerie about what it is. And I think I'm going to grow some balls I'm going to open that door one morning, just to see really what it is.
Well,
Because I'm not scared.
honestly, I would be afraid that
I'm
it's a
from Tennessee.
person.
I'm from Tennessee. Yeah, I'm from Tennessee, and honey, us women, we ain't scared of nothing.
I
I've
know, I'm
never
from a
been
holler
scared of the
in
dark,
Kentucky, so I
but
know
ever
what you
since,
mean.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, it's like I used to go outside and sit outside. I do for a little while when it's dark, so I can see the moon because I'm a moon woman, and I just, I don't know. I've been real eerie, and I've been reading my Bible a lot lately. I'm 62 years old, and I'm not scared. I mean, I've been active all my life, but this has really been
So
bothering.
the only thing that I would
And
say, as far as what you were
huh?
mentioning, because I do believe what you saw is what you saw or experienced. The
Yeah,
only thing that I would say is that one thing you have to take into
yeah.
account is just because there is some type of activity, it does not necessarily mean that it's demonic. There are certain things that would denote that it has some type of demonic nature to it, but not all spiritual encounters are necessarily of a demonic nature.
Looks like she went off the app. Ginger, we can't hear you if you're talking. If you're off the app, we can't hear you. We'll give her just a second. There was something, but yeah, no, I agree, Drew, that she's not muted, JW. She's off the app.
I'm just going to be brave and just open my door. You-
Well,
Hello?
Ginger, we appreciate you coming up. We're having a little bit of trouble
I'm
hearing you. I'm
sorry.
going to go ahead and drop you and give us an update. Come back sometime and let us know if you figure out what's going on. But the bars, her connection bars, are really bad, and I'm having a terrible time trying to hear her. So,
Yeah, it was
uh,
so laggy.
yeah, it
Nothing,
was.
nothing against, the story or anything like that. It was just the connection was so bad that it
Yeah.
was really hard to hear what was going on.
All right, guys. Spam the comments, tap the screen, put some Bigfoots out there. Big feet, Bigfoots. I believe this gentleman has been waiting for a while. Oh, he may not connect. He may be going
Can you
on.
hear me?
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, he may not connect. He may be going on.
Can you hear me?
Ooh. Hello, welcome.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, he may not connect. He may be going on.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit of echo.
Yeah, I think he might be good now.
Hello? How's that?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
better.
okay. All right. As far as those shapeshifters go, I was thinking to myself from a scientific standpoint, maybe there are animals on this planet that sort of like the cuttlefish, they progress to a certain point where they do have that ability. I mean, that could be scientifically, I don't know. But I wanted to talk about two particular experiences. One, um, I used to live in the Caribbean, and I remember one day I was laying in bed, and I woke up, but I was completely paralyzed, and I couldn't move. But I had the sense that something or someone was in the room, and if this only lasted for a very short time, I might have came to different conclusions. But I felt like I was paralyzed for almost a full minute. So I'm thinking it's unlikely to be hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucination based on that length of time, because usually the brain doesn't take that long to adjust between the sleep wake cycle. And so I couldn't I couldn't move at all, and then I started to hear this sound, and it sounded sort of like whoa, 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 whoa. I don't even know. It sounded maybe like some kind of like a UFO or something like that. I don't know what it was. And then um, there was a very loud bang, like a gunshot. And right after that, I could move and I could open my eyes. And I wasn't aware of this thing called exploding head syndrome. Somebody told me about that like last year. I didn't even know such a thing existed, but sometimes that could happen. But it didn't seem like that was the case because of how long it lasted. So that was weird. And then the other thing is I think that my mom's house is haunted. And the reason I think that is one time I was with my grandmother. We were watching TV, and there was a massive bang in the back of the house. It sounded like somebody dropped something extremely heavy. I don't know what it was. And we went back, we inspected. I mean, I looked around for probably an hour at least. I saw nothing in the world that could have made that sound. So then another time I was with my girlfriend. We were laying in bed. Nobody was in this house at all. And I'm glad that in both cases I had a witness. But we were laying in bed, and underneath us in the basement, it sounded like somebody took my 45-pound Olympic plates and was sliding them across the floor. And I can't even imagine like how or why something would make a noise like that. And, she told me to go inspect it. I was like, man, I don't want to go down there. I'm afraid. And, but I did. I went down there. I looked around. I saw nothing at all. I go back, and this is after looking around for like 15 full minutes. Go back in the room. We just were like, we're laying there, a little bit freaked out, and it happened again. And this thing is like sliding around. I don't know what that was. That was pretty bizarre. Then I think it was probably about 2016. I was at that house, and it was 4 o'clock in the morning. It was dead silent. Everybody was in bed. I was sitting on a bed reading a book, and I had my light on. It was perfectly silent. There was a bathroom right next to me. In this bathroom, there was a sort of a cabinet where the sink is. There's a drawer, and this is what I heard in right next to me. I'm going to try to replicate it. I don't know how well it will come out on the phone, but this is what I heard. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
So basically, what it was is the drawer in the bathroom opened, it rolled out and slammed shut. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, well, if that was like a mouse or a rat or something like that, it would maybe open, but how's it going to slam shut? I thought that was a little bit bizarre. And same thing, I'm in the bathroom looking around for an hour trying to figure out this puzzle, and I couldn't figure it out. I have no idea what would do that. And the last thing that happened in that house this was probably about a year ago. I was sleeping in a bed there, and in the morning, and something it hit my shoulder. It felt like somebody punched me in the shoulder and woke me up. It hit me like so hard that because I was laying on my side, like that I went sort of like flying, like it was a good shot. And I don't know. I mean, like I'm just telling you the truth. I actually experienced that, and I don't know what to make of it, but it happened. And I generally am not like somebody that's hallucinating or anything like that, but that's just weird stuff. And at least I had a witness for a couple of the events. But I was only saying because this is a you're supposed to tell ghost or haunted stories. I was just letting you know one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a lot of that stuff sounds like pretty standard paranormal activity, honestly. I've heard tons of stories like that, and I've had similar encounters like that. So, is this like your very first time, maybe with like paranormal activity, or have you experienced anything in the past? Or
No, no, no. I called you and I told you that story about uh, that 666 thing. Didn't I tell you that? Something
we
about the
we get a lot of
Antichrist. Yeah,
stories
I know
on
you
here.
probably got.
Sometimes I
Yeah, you got a lot of stories.
sometimes
It
I
was
can't
about that.
remember. It takes me a minute.
It was about that some curator from the Seattle Museum, and he was telling. No, the guy, he was a really educated, intelligent guy. He wasn't some kind of I don't know, not a fraudulent guy. This guy was really, really educated, and he was serious. He was telling me how the Antichrist was here, and I I thought I told you that story. Yeah, I did. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tell that again. But the Ouija board thing, I told you about the Ouija board thing, and
Okay, yeah.
that's that. That's pretty much most of my stories. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. And I don't want to say the whole name of, but you mentioned the head syndrome earlier. I actually had a
Yeah.
paranormal experience in my early 20s where I was positive that every time I would lay down to go to sleep, somebody was clapping their hands in front of my face. And there were like a whole other bunch of instances of things happening, like paranormal activity, I thought. And then years later, I read about that and I was like, does that mean that all of those experiences are like maybe they weren't paranormal? Maybe there was something else going on. So that's a weird. If anybody hasn't read about that, it's really interesting. You should definitely look it up first of all. But it's like what a strange explanation for something like that. I think, but
Well, they're trying to say that it has some kind of connection with serotonin receptors in the brain, but I don't know. That could be the case in sometimes, but if they didn't measure that in the lab, it seems kind of theoretical to me, and some of it probably is paranormal.
yeah, because I had never experienced it before, and after this incident at this particular location, I've never experienced that ever again. It's never happened to me, and that was like when I was probably 19. So that's been a really long time ago, and it's never happened again. So I don't know if I really believe the, you know what, head syndrome, because that it's, I think it's paranormal. But yeah, really
You know what?
interesting story.
If if you want, I could tell you uh, some. It's like a series of maybe like three events or something like that that happened in a different house. If you want another guess, that's fine. But I could
No,
tell you
you're
one
fine.
other one.
Go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead.
so all right, when I lived sort of outside of Orlando, I lived in this one house and with a lady who now, I mean, I think she's a witch or something like that because I lived with her for 5 years. The very first thing she sent me was a picture of Circe, the sorceress, and I believe that she's actually from Massachusetts, which was close to the Salem witch trials and stuff like that. And she only, well, we're not going to go into that. But, anyways, when I lived in this house, there was a series of three events that happened all together, which totally freaked me out. And I wondered afterwards if they were trying to give me a message to get out of there. But one of them was there would be like just pin drops. Like it sounded like somebody. Well, it didn't sound like it. Definitely happened. Like somebody would drop a screw or something like that in the house, and there was nobody there. And the one time I was sitting at the computer, and I heard this like rush of wind come in the room. It was like, and my glass that was full of ice water was right next to me, and it came off the table maybe I don't know, quarter inch or something. It just came up and it went like that, like like a sound. And I didn't see it happen. I just heard it, and I looked to the left real quick, and my ice water was sloshing around. And I thought, wow, that's kind of weird. That freaks me out. And then I'm in bed, and I was in this bed all by myself, and I could hear breathing, like, and I heard like it sounded like somebody was walking around the room real faintly, like you hear clothes moving. You can't. I didn't hear like footsteps or anything. I know nobody was in the room, but it's like really, really light sounds of clothes moving or something like that. And I could hear somebody breathing, and right next to me, it was like there was a person next standing over me breathing, and I thought to myself, well, maybe that's in my head. Maybe I'm hearing myself breathe. So I held my breath and I listened, and I could still hear this thing breathing. And I don't know what it was, but I thought it was a little bit scary, to be honest. Um, and then the last event was I was sitting on the couch. I had just fallen asleep, and something came like right up to my ear, and it just went like that, like right in my ear. And it sounded like a big cat or something. And so because of all those things, I it made me call a friend of mine who we played a Ouija board with like 30 years prior. I hadn't even talked to him in 30 years because I was so freaked out. I was like, this is weird. Maybe we open up some kind of portal and something's following me around. I didn't talk to this guy in forever. And I asked him, and he told me he owns a bar like somewhere outside of Tampa. I mean, like, I could verify these things, but he said that after that Ouija board event, he heard some kind of weird large cat growling in his house one time, which happened probably maybe a year after the event, but never an adult. But still, I don't know what that means, but that happened. And as it turns out, that this is not supernatural. That woman, she had like somebody inside the house, which I recorded, and I have it on my computer on audio files. Somebody was inside the house at 11 o'clock at night while I'm in bed. I go downstairs and I had a recorder on because, infidelity type things. So I had a recorder on and played it back later. And like everybody heard this. Somebody was inside the house and the guy says, we should shoot him now. And she says, no, not now, go. And so apparently he went, hid somewhere. I don't know what he was doing. But so I'm thinking, well, maybe those voices, the guy standing over my bed breathing, maybe it was like a ghost saying, you got to get out, you got to get away from this girl. So, but that stuff all happened, and that's real.
Druid, this kind of sounds like your territory a little bit. I mean, I don't know. That's interesting.
Growling cat.
Yeah, are you familiar with any type of cat-like entities or anything like that?
Yeah, a few.
There's like the cat she, but you have these like fey creature type of or spirit creature type cats that are prevalent throughout the British Isles that bear a negative connotation to them because they're usually considered malevolent. But I don't know if it'd be here in America.
Well, outside of my window, I was on the computer, and it was probably 2 o'clock in the morning, dead silent night. I had my window open because it was summertime. Something came by the window, and it growled really loud. It was like, "Arr!"
And I was like, it scared me. I was like, what the hell was that? And I'd never even imagined, because that happened in Pennsylvania. And I thought, there's no animal around here that could make that noise. But I went through YouTube and I listened to every single animal, and it sounded very, very close to a growling bobcat. So that's probably what it was. But I don't really know. I never heard anything like that. Uh, when we were playing with the Ouija board, it did say, when we asked it its name, it said SAD, SAAD. And 2 years after that event, I found the book Necronomicon. And in the book Necronomicon, there is a demon with that name, which I never heard of before that. But apparently in that book, he was like third in command in hell or something like that.
So the one thing I have to stress about the Necronomicon
Yeah.
is the Necronomicon is purely a work of fiction. There is no real spells in it. There's no real, it was made up by
It's H.P. Lovecraft, isn't it?
thank you, H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
his name is
necessarily
Jeremy.
believe it. It was a strange and interesting coincidence, though. So, anyways, I mean, like, I'm just going to go down below and listen to some other people tell some stories. The analysis
All
isn't
right.
as interesting as the stories themselves, but thanks, it was fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Yeah,
up.
thank you.
Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever really heard a story on here that could possibly lean towards something like the cat she, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Yeah,
interesting topic.
yeah, for sure. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I bet Jared knows about this, actually. Starscream. I think anybody can just try it, right? I mean, anybody can cast spells. To varying degrees of success. I don't know. I don't think you have to do anything special.
With practice, like for example, within, I think it's Dilemma or something like that. Like with ceremonial magic, you have to reach certain levels in order to do certain magics, but that's not, a wheelhouse that I necessarily spend a lot of time in, because it's not necessarily as much of an interest to me as my own craft.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, the guest box is open. If anybody wants to come up, we did have a few people, but they vanished, so I don't know where they went. If you guys are still out there floating around, feel free to come back. In the meantime, let's throw some Bigfoots in the comments. Do some Bigfoot. Spam the comments, guys. Hit the share button. Push all the buttons. Just push them all at the same time, and let's just see what happens.
We're not afraid if you, drag some of your friends in here kicking and screaming. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. It's funny too. We were trying to do like a little Ouija board session the other night in the Discord. Guys, if you're into that kind of thing, you want to come hang out and do digital witchcraft together, feel free to join the Discord. Subscribers, hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, which we do have some subscribers that haven't made their way over to the Discord yet. I don't know what's going on, but you guys better get over there. But yeah, hit that little gold star. Come on over, hang out with us. Raven, come on now.
Oh, it's a fun time.
It is. It's super fun. Well, Raven, you'll be happy to know that I messed with it a whole bunch the other night, and I don't know if anything really happened. Maybe a little bit, maybe not. I don't know. It's up for interpretation, I suppose. Yeah, we have fun in the Discord, Holly. Well, we got 167 people in here. You guys tap the screen, send some hearts. More hearts means more people, means more ghost stories. We got to get out there. And Since TikTok changed the requirement, more and more people should be able to join the live as a guest. I think you have to have 50 people now. 50 is the number that I'm hearing people on other live streams talk about. So I think it's 50. If you have at least 50 followers, if you're at least 18 or older, and also you cannot be driving, if you fit those requirements, then please feel free to hop in the box, come up, share a story with us. We do paranormal stories, extraterrestrial stories, cryptid stories, unexplained stories, bonus points for Loch Ness monster stories. Come up and tell us your spookiest spooky story. We want to hear it. Ridiculously shy. Believe it or not, Starscream, I'm ridiculously shy. No, I'm not. I'm a big old loudmouth. But I feel like everybody could be like a little bit shy in some ways. I just get up here and start rambling, and then it's all downhill, and I don't even worry about it. And that's just how it goes. Werewolf. Yeah, don't be nervous, guys. It's fine. Just here's the thing. Here's what you do, right? You tell yourself, if you have a story, but you're too shy or you're too nervous, the worst thing that happens is you come up here, you get too nervous to talk, and then you just tell me to start rambling for a minute, and I'll just ramble all over the place, and then you can like take a minute, and then when you're ready, you can start talking again. And hopefully my rambling will make us both feel better about ourselves in some weird indirect way. I don't know.
We don't bite. Well, Cat Mama might, but you know.
I know, you're right, Cat Mama. The shy ones have the best stories. Absolutely. What were we talking about earlier? There was something I was going to tell you guys earlier. What was it? I don't remember. I'm doing so many things at once. It's hard to keep up with everything. Oh, cool, Chaotic. Very nice to have you here. We're glad you found us.
If you come up, I will share my Ritz crackers with you.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
We have a Ritz crackers party. Then there was something I was going to ramble about, but I do not for the life of me remember what it was. I told you guys I was playing fetch with the cat a minute ago. He was down here yodeling and carrying on. I need to get a video of Bean playing fetch. He is so good at it. I don't know how. He just came from the factory knowing how to play fetch. I don't know if you've ever seen a cat play fetch, but he's really good at it. And it's something he's always done. In fact, he's so good at it that he taught his brother how to play it as well. Just, his brother just saw him do it, and then eventually he started doing it. So I need to get a video of that, because I feel like it's not every day that you see a cat that plays fetch, and I have two.
I mean, they are allowed to use, or not allowed, they are able to do tricks and whatnot, so yeah.
Yeah. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Sherry, are you with us?
Yep.
Do you have a story for us?
Yeah. A few years ago it happened. I've got my mom's going on.
Would you care to maybe turn your TV down a little bit or your background noise so we can hear you?
Hold on. Here, just a second. My remote. I can't find the remote. I'm looking for it.
That's fine. Take your time.
Okay. Is this a little bit better?
It's still,
is that better?
It's pretty loud. It's actually a little bit louder now, I think. Oh, that's better. That's better.
Right here?
Yeah,
is that better?
I think so.
I'm try going here. See if this works. How about now? Is that better?
Looks like they're saying in the comments
Is that
it's a
better?
little better. Someone
Okay.
says, just, yeah.
Well, this. Okay, how about that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, this happened a few years ago. I'm from Kilcook, Iowa, and I lived in a little house on Payland Street, and I moved. I was doing laundry at my mom's, and at the same town. It was late at night, and she was giving me a ride home, pulled in front of my house, and we seen some across the street from where we was parked. And we parked the wrong way, of course. My mom was driving, and we seen this thing on the other side of the street between these two houses. And we just froze. Neither one could move. And it was like facing down the road. I've never believed in, I believe in ghosts and stuff, but I've never believed in creatures and stuff. This thing was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It had a face like a wolf, and it was leaned over. It was real hairy. It was nighttime, so you could barely see it, but it was like facing forward, not towards us. And we just kept staring at it. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. Well, we just couldn't move. We just sat there. And it stood up. And when it stood up, it was huge. This thing was like over 6 feet tall. And it had muscles like a human, like a man. I mean, it was built. And it was weird because it had these legs like a kangaroo would have. And I couldn't move. I froze. And my mom just had her face right in the window, just staring. And it never did look at us. And it stood up, and it was the muscles. I'll never forget the muscles. And it had hair all over it. And it turned towards like where the houses are. And it like jumped, and it took off running. It scared me to death. I wouldn't walk that street for a long time. I told Mom I'm going home with you. And she turned around, and we went home. I stayed at her house, and I wouldn't go out after dark. I don't know what it was. It was huge, and it was muscles, the muscles on it. And it had a wolf face. It was hairy. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't go out after dark now. He says it's not too far from where I moved to. Yeah, I never seen nothing like that again. My twin sister did. She was a cab driver, and she had experienced something like that too. But it was like down on the river road one, and it jumped from up in the hills. We have this wire things that hold the rocks back so they don't fall. And it jumped from up there and hit the cab and made the cab rock. And it scared her. She stopped the car, ran, and didn't move. Just kept in it. And it quit. And she didn't do nothing for a time. She just started to wiggle up. She didn't see nothing down there. No, nothing. And it scared her out of her too. That's the only thing that I can remember that was really that bad. It's the second time something like that's happened.
Somebody in the comments was wanting to know what year. Somebody in the comments was wanting to know what year that happened, and if you could tell us what state.
It's Kilcook, Iowa, and it happened well, with me, it happened like probably 13 years ago, and the thing happened with my sister, it happened like 5 years ago. We had a couple girls that come to my house. A friend of mine was telling him about it, a long time ago. He came to my house with a couple friends of his, and these girls were describing the same thing I described. They said about hit it on Main Street, over by what's the name of the place? I can't think of the restaurant. But they ran out in front of my Hills Park on Main Street. And they described the same thing, and that tripped me out because I'm like, we sat and talked for a while. I'm like, I can't believe you've seen. But actually, most people don't believe me. Like, whatever. I'm like, you have to see this. I froze. And it started making me believe there is such thing out there. So I've never seen nothing weird before. That changed my mind on a lot of things. And these girls described the same thing, and we sat for hours and talked about this thing. It's like part human, part animal. And it was huge. There's like so far there's like 4 or 5 people I've talked to that experienced this thing, and I don't know what it is. I never used to be scared walking after dark. I walked all over this town. I quit doing that, especially after dark. A lot of things been going on weird in this town. It's a little town. It's Chickasaw. It's on the river, Mississippi River.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a Dogman encounter. Are you familiar
What?
with Dogman?
No, not Dogman. What is he?
People say that it is a werewolf type creature.
Really? Well, see, it kind
So,
of looks like that. Kind of. They really tall and big. They got muscles, man. This thing has muscles. And when
yeah.
it looked that big. When it stood up, oh my God. And it never once looked at us. My mom, she's very religious, and she just froze. I was afraid to go home. And after I went home, I didn't go out after dark. I don't know what's doing over in here. We've had a couple of Indian burial grounds that people have messed with, and they're not supposed to, they do anyway. The cops see this one burial ground. It goes to Missouri, the bridge. They were digging up there on a mountain part and came upon the burial ground, and instead of leaving it alone, the cops go target practice there now. And they should do that because that's sacred,
Yeah, that definitely sounds a lot like a Dogman encounter. A lot of people say that he is a very muscular cryptid, so that, goes right along with everything that I've ever heard about it. So,
What would
well, we
he
appreciate
be?
you so much coming up and telling us about that. That's really, everybody in the comments is really creeped out by that encounter.
Yes, I am. Every time I think about it, I get spooked again. There's a lot of people been saying,
Yeah, for sure.
what is he doing here? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's one of those things we'll never know, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm from the Cherokee Bear Tribe, and I've never experienced anything like that. It's a spooky thing.
Very interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Interesting.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, that sounds just like so many Dogman encounters that I've heard of. It sounds just like it. The muscular build and all that. It's so wild because, like you guys know, I'm always on the fence about everything. But then people have encounters like that, and I'm like, wow, that's you know, that's I mean, amazing. I don't even know.
Absolutely.
Um, all right, guys, the guest box is open, I think. Let me look. Yeah, guest box is open. I've got a new button and I'm itching to push it, but I'm afraid to push it because I don't know what it does and I don't want to I don't know, shut the stream down. I'm like, ooh, I want to see what that button does. Um, home of corn and Dogman. Yeah. Push it. Oh, hello, Wraith-like. Wraith. That's hard for me to say with my hillbilly accent. Wraith-like. All right, guys. Guest box is open. We do paranormal stories, extraterrestrial stories, cryptid stories, unexplained stories. Apparently, we also do Glitch of the Matrix stories. I don't even know. You guys, I don't know. It's up to you. Everybody tap screen, send some hearts. Let's get into the algorithm. More hearts means more people, means more ghost stories. And you guys know you want to hear some more spooky stories. So if anybody has a story they want to share, don't be nervous. Don't be shy. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just come up here and tell us your story. And worst case scenario, if you get too nervous, you could just leave and come back again later. That's what I would tell myself. I've never got to be a guest on a stream. And it's funny because I'm always like, hey guys, don't be shy, just come up here. And then I'm always like, do I want to? I don't know if I can do it. Can I do it? I don't know.
And
I'm
you
weird.
managed to do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I still haven't been a guest. I haven't been a guest yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Wraith-like is in the guest box.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. I've got we got a few stories, but I'll stick with one. It's one that stuck with me for several years. For a very long time, since I was in high school. Thing about it is, I'm way way well out of high school, but I live in San Antonio, Texas. And back when I was in high school,
The outskirts of San Antonio are surrounded by Loop 1604. So me and some friends, we would always get together. We'd jump in my truck, and we would cruise around 1604 because there was nothing out there. It was pitch black, stars, and we would just cruise. I mean, at a high rate of speed, but we'd always have a great time. Just chatting, jamming out to music. And one night, I remember we were out on the west end of 1604, headed northbound, and my friend Mikey was driving, and we had, I think, we had 3 other people with us: Karina, Becky, myself, and anyways, so we're driving, high rate of speed. And we saw somebody in the distance wanting a ride. Had his hand up, waving and everything. And Mikey says, "Oh, we'll give him a ride, man, at least to the next gas station." And I remember Becky saying, "Well, yeah, why not?" So we pulled over and we told him, "Hey, man, if you don't mind, jump in the back. We'll take you to the next gas station if that's cool with you." And he was like, "Yeah, all right." So he jumps in. And mind you, at this point in time, back in that year, there was nothing around 1604. I mean, it was just all land, open land, no gas stations, very, 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 very few gas stations. Definitely no residential, nothing commercial. And so we're driving, and Karina opens the sliding glass door and asks him if he wants something to drink, because, well, we had something. We had beverages. And we're driving. And he says no, he's fine. And we're driving. So we're doing at least 80, 85, and we're just driving. And then Mikey says, "Well, hey, man, why don't you drive?" I was like, "All right, fine." So we pull over, and he's like, "Hey, is everything all right?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're good. We're just switching drivers." So I jump in, and I start driving my truck, and we're, once again, on the road. Now, 1604 is a big stretch. And so we're driving, and we're laughing, and we're joking around. And then Karina turns around and she yells out, "Oh my God, he fell out." So I pull over I jam on the brake, pull over. And I'm like, "Man." And Mikey's like, "We got to go back." And I'm like, "No, we can't. The gas station is right up ahead. We got to call somebody. Because at the rate of speed we're going, he's not okay. There's nothing we can do. We need to call an ambulance, the police. We need to make sure it's okay." So we take off from there, and we're headed up. And who do we see hitchhiking again? It was the same guy hitchhiking again. After that night, right after we saw him again, it was the exact same guy. There was no difference. He had the exact same shirt, pants. I mean, everything was different colored. Everything. It was him. So we went straight home. And the reason I'm even saying this is because it was last week. I was talking to a coworker. We were talking about stuff, crazy stuff that we had encountered, and I was telling him about that story, and he was like, and he's standing there, and he literally changed colors. I could see it in his face, and he tells me that same thing happened to him.
You know what that reminds me of is there are a lot of stories about ghost hitchhikers. And, every state has, well, like almost every decent sized town has one, not even just state. I mean, there's multiple even in my state, and Kentucky's not that big, but that's what that reminds me of. Have you ever looked to see if there is a well known legend about this person?
Yes, I have. I looked it up. I I when something happens to me, chase I chase a rabbit. I went as far as Texas DPS and any and all records I could find, and there's nothing like that. But the reason it hit me so hard was because just last week I had somebody tell me it had happened to them too.
So there
That's
must
really
be
neat.
type of I mean, you could probably find archives in your library and see if anybody may have passed on that particular road and see if they match the descriptions of what you saw.
Well, I would understand that. I mean, but everything that I've read up on as far as the history of that loop, most of the people having passed were in actual vehicle incidences. You know what I mean? They weren't by the road. They weren't on the side of the road. They weren't hitchhiking or anything of that nature. Most of the passings that I read up on were in a vehicle, and
Strange.
yeah, and that's what really. I mean, even to this day, I won't take that section of road anymore, even during the day. And I don't have to go out that far for anything or but um there was it was so eerie that my coworker and I we were talking about us growing up, and we were talking about what we had done, where we would go in San Antonio, and where we'd go to to the rock bed, or we'd go out to several different places that we used to hang out and party and have a great time. And then I told him that story, and then he tells me that happened to me too. And I could see it in his face that he wasn't just putting me on, he wasn't lying or trying to, it it happened to him too. And that's what so badly, I mean, just recently, I mean, I've always remembered it, it's always stuck with me since I was a teen, all the way up to right now, to where I was just reminiscing on that day, and then he told me that happened to me too. And I can't put my finger on which I could imagine would be brutal for whoever it was that passed that has to recreate that every day. I mean, can you imagine?
You know, that's an interesting concept, but how uh, how conscious or how sentient are ghosts? I mean, how aware of themselves after they've passed on are they? Would they even know that they're stuck in that loop? And it's
Well, I mean that's I mean that's an amazing observation on the whole scenario. But imagine having to relive that, or not relive that, but to endure that for whatever their existence is now. I mean, I know full well. I don't think I could handle something like that. To be put in that situation every night, because I don't know if that happens every night. I don't know. I don't know. I know that happened to me that one night, and I won't even travel that stretch of road because I don't think I could handle it again. But imagine something that at one point in time had a soul and was totally sentient to exist in that loop constantly over and over and over because we saw him again. I mean, is that a soul stuck there? Is that a spirit that is stuck there? Or is that just a remembrance that is placed there to warn somebody? You know what I mean? You follow on that?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it wasn't until last week that it really messed with me again. I mean, don't get me wrong. That night we were scared like you wouldn't believe. We all went home. We were talking to each other on the phone. We talked to we talked to our friends. We talked to our family about it and everything like that. And they thought that we were we were just daffy about it, but I never let it go because it was real. And then when my coworker, because I come to find out my coworker and we used to hang out at the same places and different eras because he's a bit older than I am, but the same thing happened to him, and that's what lit that match all over again. And I mean, the biggest issue for me is that there's somebody either reliving that or enduring that every night. And I couldn't imagine having to fathom that for an eternity because I don't know how long that's been going on. And that's scary. That's what scares me.
But it goes back to like I was saying, as far as like, are ghosts even fully aware that they are repeating the same thing over and over again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand that. But the thing about it is, not being there makes it hard to put a stamp on reality or not.
Right.
But
Well, I'll tell you
nonetheless,
something that I think about pretty frequently when it comes to that type of thing is, the string theory folks and the scientists are saying that it's incredibly more likely all the time that we could be living in a simulation. So I like to think of it as, what if this is just a glitch in the game? What if that's what paranormal activity is? It's just a glitch in the game. So I guess it's something that we won't know until it's too late to tell anybody about it. But something to think about. But we appreciate you coming up and sharing that story with us. Did you have any others you wanted to share, or was that your only one that you wanted to?
I've got some, and I've got so many others, and the reason I've got so many others is because my mother comes from a long lineage of curanderas. I don't know if you know what curanderas are. Faith healers in Spanish.
I am not familiar with it. Oh.
Yeah, well, for a very layman's and derogatory term, it's a witch doctor. And I come from a long line of them. My mother definitely, my grandmother was very, very, very highly revered in Mexico. Whereas my mother is highly revered here in Texas. But I don't feel comfortable with talking about some of the stuff that I've seen. But the fact that vampires exist, and not in the sense of what we see on the movies as far as on the neck transforming, no, but spiritual, emotional. Oh man, I'll tell you what, there's some people that'll show up at my house that I know I know when they're here.
I agree that there are, in fact, real vampires. They just do not, they're not the ones that you see
Yeah,
on
the
media
extravagance of
or
Hollywood.
whatnot.
Mhm.
It's a topic I know quite well.
Yes, sir. Oh, there's one lady in particular that shows up to see my mother, and I'll tell you what, I can tell you when she's down the street because I literally get anxious, and I know when she's at the front door, and she is without a doubt not an emotional vampire, but a very, 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 very true spiritual vampire. Because I'll tell you what, she when she's around, she makes people doubt themselves. It's horrible, but it's real. Well, that was my minute. I truly appreciate your allowing me on here, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming up and sharing that with us. We appreciate you.
All right, you'll have a good one.
You too.
Can spirits control technology? I don't know. What do you think, Drew?
They, in most of the instances that I've seen, when it comes to spirit communication, since again everything is made of energy and they tend to use energy around them to manifest, yeah, I don't see why they couldn't mess with technology.
Yeah, they could definitely drain batteries.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen many times.
And you have things like we can't even, like the spirit box, like not necessarily EVPs, but the spirit box that they're able to use certain electromagnetic fields in order to create certain words.
Yeah, that one always fascinates me to no end because I've had so many wild experiences, getting EVPs and like having conversations with something through that device. Very strange. Also, real quick, guys, I want to say while that guest was up here, I saw in the comments that there was someone, Monkey Wrench or something like that, came up and was like talking about like needing followers. This is why I tell you guys, like, don't mess with those people because there are people that will go from live stream to live stream and just tell everybody, like, oh, I want to come on as a guest, but I don't have enough followers. And then they get you to follow them and then they leave. And I think that may have been what that person did. So just be aware that there are people who will do that. Usually if people are in the comments like, oh, I want to come up, but I don't have the guests to go live, I usually would just tell them like, well, that come back when you do. So, I mean, it's not an enormous thing, but yeah, it does happen. People do that to get followers. So if I were you guys, I would just unfollow that person because that's probably what they were doing, because I think they bounced as soon as they got a few people to follow them. And in the future, if anybody comes back and does that, just let them be. If they really do want to come and share a story, they'll come back when they have the followers for it. And it's only 50 now. TikTok changed the rules, so it's only 50. But Tully, I see your comment in the Discord. All right, guys, the guest box is open. Yeah, just letting you guys know. Just be aware. It's crazy what people will do. People get wild on TikTok, y'all. You gotta watch them. You gotta always be on the lookout for wild stuff, because
Always be vigilant.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing chaotic is that the new number is 50, and I'm pretty sure it is because I've seen people with like 60 followers go live this week. So, and I think it's kind of cool that TikTok finally changed it, and I think it makes sense. Well, now in order to do your own live stream, I think you do still need like 500 or 1,000. I think they changed that number too, but you still need significantly more. But if you want to just be a guest, like just come up as a guest without camming up, you can do audio only at 50, I'm pretty sure. So, all right, guys, guest box is open. Somebody come up here and tell us a spooky story. We've had some good ones tonight. I'm still thinking about the one about the fruit fly, the mutant
I'm
fruit
so
fly.
upset I missed that.
Yeah, that was a hell of a way to start the show out for the night, I'll tell you. Oh gosh. I don't know what happened to that guy. I think he moseyed on down the road, but maybe he'll come back and tell us more fruit fly stories in the future.
Maybe he went to go have a conversation with his fruit fly.
Well, he said it got away. His girlfriend let it out the door by accident.
Oh.
Hello, Amanda. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. How's everybody's night going tonight?
Good. How about you?
Good. Okay. Well, I was probably about 24 when this happened. A boyfriend of mine bought a house that he was revamping. And it was in Cincinnati, Ohio on Harrison Road. And he asked me to come over. So I went over and saw the house that he was redoing. And he told me that some weird stuff has been happening in that house to him. The lights will dim and come back on. He'll smell the smell of cigars. Just weird things have been happening. Also, the basement was redone already, and it had a kitchenette, and it had 2 rooms and a bathroom down there. But there was some satanic writing on one of the walls that he thought maybe some kids came in and had graffitied or whatever. He let a girl come stay in his basement. She was renting out the basement. And of course, the graffiti offended her, so she painted the walls orange. The next morning, the graffiti showed through the orange paint. So she repainted over the graffiti, which was satanic ritual something on the walls, and she painted over it. The following morning, it showed back through the paint. So she was going to repaint again, but she stayed the night, and she got up to get a drink of water. And she looked over her couch, and there was an imprint on the couch and cigarette smoke blowing through the air. She freaked out and left in the middle of the night. She left. Well, I stayed the night one night at his house, and I got up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, something like a pool ball slammed against the door. Oh, ha ha, Mike, you're real funny. You're just trying to scare the pee out of me. I get it. I come out of the bathroom, and there was absolutely nothing there. Nothing. Come to find out, after doing some research on the house, that it had been joined with a factory, a soap factory. And the gentleman who owned and managed and, lived in that house, and he had a sickly mother who had Alzheimer's, and he, in fact, kept her in the basement, locked down there. And, I found out it probably wasn't a pool ball, maybe a bar of soap hit the door. I don't know. But like I said, it had been adjoined to a soap factory. And weird things continue to happen in this house, and he finally left it. He left all his supplies, all the cabinets. He left everything and got out of that house. The house was creepy. And, like I said, there was, the lights would flicker and you'd smell odd smells. And yeah, I'm truly a believer that there is something definitely out there. That made me believe that there is spirits. So
Yeah, and it's funny, that kind of sounds like it could possibly also be residual energy as well, since it was, like you mentioned, a soap factory.
right.
Um, yeah, that's really interesting and spooky, of course, but very strange and interesting.
Yeah, the satanic writing on the walls would not go away. We, no matter what we did, we couldn't get rid of it. It kept showing through. I don't know if the mother did it. I don't know if, I don't know how it got there. But like I said, that girl that was in that basement refused to come back and get any of her stuff. She left everything, all her clothes, bed. She left everything, wouldn't come back. And like I said, when something hit the door, it was so loud. And I looked out there and there was nothing on the floor, nothing around, nothing. Yeah, like I said, the soap factory beside it. Yeah, it was definitely haunted. Nobody still to this day lives there.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you if is it owned by someone now? Is it still standing, or?
It's still standing, but nobody will live there. So something's definitely going on in that house.
Yeah, that is spooky for sure. Just trying to see if there are any questions in there.
Yeah, that's my story. I just wanted to share that.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you. It's a really good story.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks. I've been trying to check the comments, because sometimes people have questions in the comments, so I'm always trying to quickly check and see if anybody wants me to ask the guest anything. Because sometimes they don't see it. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
Only question, because I need to know all the details, is what year did your experiences happen, and how old were you, and what state?
I will try to remember to ask them that from now on.
State of disbelief.
Let's see. All right. Guest box is open, guys. Wow, it's slow tonight. It's crazy how slow it is. So weird. It's usually pretty wild by this time of the night, because we have a little more than 30 minutes left. I can't believe it flew by this fast, by the way. Holy cow. Weird. Did we get abducted collectively, guys?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it a little bit. Pretty lady, I am on Sunday and Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern to 2 a.m. Gonna be right back. Okay. Yep. So a little more than 30 minutes. Well, we got about 35 minutes left of the show for tonight. So if you guys have a story, don't be shy. Come up here and tell us your story. Oh, interesting. A haunted house.
Lead.
Come up here.
That's Jersey Devil territory.
Yeah. Interesting. B. Ward, you need to come up and tell us. You have plenty of followers. Come up here. We'd love to hear it. All right. Oh, I thought that was them coming up, but it was an accidental request, I think. She left.
Oh. Yeah, if you have stories about the Jersey Devil, you should pop up and let us know about it.
I can't believe that we've actually had some Jersey Devil stories on here. I mean, I never expected that we'd get Jersey Devil stories, but we have. So, can never have too many, though.
How many chupacabras have they had?
We've had, we had like 2 or 3 in 1 week.
Really?
I feel like, yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of like if you've ever worked in customer service of any kind, like where you have customers all day, you know how it kind
Mhm.
of jumbles in your head and you're like, I'm sure I can remember this, but then when you kind of look at the data, it's like, oh no, I don't remember this at all. So I could be jumbling it up a little bit. Oh, Josephine, you
Oh,
couldn't hear the
Josephine.
sound on here? You guys, Josephine has a really cool channel too. We are mutuals on here. I really like her content. And also, she was a guest. She came up and told us a story a while back. I don't know if you remember,
Hmm.
Druid. That was 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like
Yeah,
that.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
guys.
from over in the UK.
Hmm. Wouldn't play sound. That's weird. We haven't had any. You're welcome. We haven't had any glitches tonight. Not really, I don't think. Well, I mean, we've had a few guests that had some connection problems, but other than that, a Yeti story. We had. Was that a Yeti or just a Squatch? I want to say that we did have a Yeti story, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Maybe one. Um, Yeah, guys, we need to peer pressure B Ward to get them up here. I want to hear this haunted house in New Jersey story.
Just keep poking them with a stick, you know?
Yeah.
See if he'll twitch a little more.
Yeah. All the beat boops. All right, you guys are going to make me ramble about something. I'm going to start rambling if somebody don't come up here and tell us a story. Oh, that is Kitty. I think that's Druid getting notifications.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine messaging me some pictures of dragons. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you, Holly. Real quick, guys, the little gold star somewhere on the screen, I think it's down towards the bottom. Hit that little gold star, subscribe to the channel. You get access to the Discord. We do all the fun things over there. We do Ouija board sessions. Thank you, Cat Mama. Thank you for that. We're going to do another tarot session soon. And I think Druid is also going to join us when we do the tarot
Yes.
session over on Discord. So it's going to be an extravaganza. It's going to be amazing.
A card extravaganza.
Yeah. And we do all kinds of fun things over there. We're going to do even more fun things. It's going to be huge. You know, you want to come join us. I was throwing some shade earlier at other people on TikTok with subscriptions because, like, I always snoop when people have subscriptions. I always like look to see what they do so that I can get ideas and stuff. And I'm always kind of surprised at how few perks they have for their subscribers. And I'm like, you know what? I've got a bunch of perks. Like, I have so many. So I'm going to start like saying that just directly, just outright. I don't know, because I don't know what's socially uncouth and what's not.
Fine, it's fine.
I'm just a hillbilly, guys, from the hollers of Kentucky. So I just say things sometimes without thinking about it. But yeah, for real though, hit the subscribe button and get access to the Discord. It's super fun over there. We have a place for everything. Share your ghost stories, your pictures, your videos, your memes, if you have dank memes. Also, you get access to all these cool emojis that you see flying by on the screen here. And I recently got the ability to do subscriber only videos. So I've got a few posted, but I want to post a bunch more. I'm like trying to come up with some ideas because I had given up. I thought, well, TikTok's not going to give me the subscriber video feature apparently. But they did finally, after emailing them a dozen times, they finally gave it to me. So I'm pretty excited about that because now we have like secret videos that nobody else can see except for subscribers. So I'm gonna do drama videos. I'm gonna talk trash about other people on TikTok.
You wouldn't be the first.
Did you guys see this paranormal video that went viral this week? Let's talk about it. And yeah, we're gonna talk smack over on.
I'm a Virgo. I approve of the petty.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely hit that little subscribe button and join the Paranormally Correct Spooky Boo Crew, whatever community. I don't even know. We don't really have an official name. I mean, we kind of do. We kind of don't. The guest box is open. I told you guys I was gonna start rambling. Somebody didn't come up here. Come on, guys. We got 30 minutes left in the show tonight. I don't remember a time when it was this slow. We usually, after midnight, we have so many stories we can't get to everybody. So watch, everybody will come at like 10 minutes till. I'll get like 5 people in the box probably.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Society of Subscribers. Werewolf, you're a genius. Oh gosh. All right, let's see. Oh, there went my earbud. Holy cow. All right, hang on here.
Hello again.
Hello, welcome.
Hola.
Okay, so I have another, I don't know if you could call it a haunted house story, but it's it was just a strange experience. It was actually my husband's experience. So right after our son was born, we got married, and we were living in this little duplex in our hometown. Or it's my hometown. My husband's actually from New Braunfels, Texas, but anyway, so he gets off work. He was working for a landscaping company, and I was working for Walmart. I had worked for Walmart forever, and I was working. It was a Friday evening around like 5-6 o'clock, and so I'm working. He came home. He got in the shower, and he swears that he had a conversation with me. Then he said he gets out of the shower and he sees me laying crossways on our queen size bed, asleep, but I was laying on my belly, and I had my he couldn't see my face because I was laying face down, and he was just like freaked out, and he said he just kind of just shook his head for a minute, and I was gone. And I mean, this freaked him out. And he kept texting me, and I we were slammed. I couldn't answer my phone. So he called the store, and they transferred him up to me, and I answered the phone, and he said, "Please tell me that you just went back to work." I said, "No, I said, "No, I'm slammed. What is the matter?" Because I was getting irritated. I didn't know why he kept texting me, and he knew I was busy. But he swears that he saw me, and he had a conversation with me, and I was not there. And the land that this neighborhood is built on was once part of a plantation. And there was actually the stone walls still in the backyard that was dividing up the property. So yeah, it was weird. So, any takes?
So it's interesting. I think we had a doppelganger story earlier, and we get these pretty frequently. And I personally have had a doppelganger experience.
I have.
And that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
Well, I was a teenager, and we were going into the mall one time. Of course, my dad was with us. And we were walking one way, like we were walking in, and there was this girl walking out, and she looked exactly like me. Dad's like, "Look." He said, "My God, that girl looks just like you." And I looked at her, and it was me. And I was like, "Daddy, do you have any kids that I don't know about?" And it was wild. And like they went out the door, and I don't know where they went to. It was weird.
Oh my gosh, I had to chase that person down and be like, "Oh my God, look at us. We look at the same."
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to. I was like, but it was like it spooked me at the time. Yeah, it's just strange. I've got tons of spooky stories. Yeah.
Did you have any others you wanted to share with us, or?
My mom and dad. This was back in '86, I think. It was before I was born. So my dad's uncle had passed away, and he had this big. Hold on, Daddy. What kind of car was it?
Chrysler, New York.
Yeah, he had a Chrysler New Yorker, and if that was like a bougie car back in the day. So his sister, actually, I think she inherited it or something, or she bought it, but Mom and Dad ended up driving it for some reason, and they were going down a famous road in Lexington called Mason Headley. It's right there by St. Joseph Hospital. And it was pouring the rain, and it was really late at night, and Dad was driving, and my mom sees this man first. She said, "Who is that man out here hitchhiking in this awful weather?" Because it was getting pretty bad. And my dad said that this man had on like late 1800s attire, a tail with coats, a hat, a tail with coats with a tails. I'm sorry, a hat, and Dad said he looked at him as they were driving by, and his face was like lit up white, and his eyes were red, and Dad recognized him. He goes, "That's my uncle." And Mom goes, and he was walking like the way they both described it. He was walking like stiff as a board, swinging his arms. It was wild looking. I can only imagine. But my dad said, "I know that man." And my mom's like, "Well, pull over and give him a ride." He said, "No, Linda, that's my Uncle Price, and he's buried right up the road here." And she was like, "What?" It freaked her out. Because my mom, she was only like 18, 19 at the time. And he goes, "Linda, we're in his car. And the dashboard lights, the headlights, all the electricals went out in that car, and they never could get them fixed. And they went to my mama individually and told her what they saw. And she said, 'Oh, Lord, you've seen Price.'" Yeah. So my dad saw his dead uncle walking down the road in the rain.
And that car wound up being worth $400,000.
Yeah, it was wild. Like,
that car's in a museum.
Yeah, and that car is in a museum now. Like, somebody paid like $400,000 for it. Yeah, I think he was. He was like, "Yeah, that's my car, y'all." Yeah,
Wow,
it was just crazy. And then, like, my first spooky experience, I will never forget this. I was 6 years old. We lived in a townhouse. Mom and Dad were upstairs. I was downstairs watching Cartoon Network like all kids did back in the day. And I hear something like footsteps coming down this hallway, and I look, kind of just glance, and I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw like this claw, almost burnt looking, like, not like Freddy Krueger or anything, but it just looked scary. And it was coming down the hallway, and it started turning the kitchen light off and on, and I could not get up the stairs fast enough. Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had a lot of really good experiences.
I have, unfortunately. My husband says I'm marked.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe. I'm like, why me?
Maybe you're
yeah.
clairvoyant or sentient or one of the clairs. You never
I'm
know.
very intuitive.
So when you say intuitive, is it you get like a gut feeling?
Yeah, and I can like. Okay, I have successfully matched 12 couples together, and it's resulted in like 9 marriages and 7 kids so far. Because I don't know if maybe it's just where I'm so extroverted, but like I can tell when 2 people are going to hit it off. It's wild.
I would say that you would be under the umbrella term of clairsentient then, something to look into.
What does that mean?
To be able to sense, it's basically like psychic feeling, being able to pick up vibes or pick up energy or something like that either shouldn't be there or it feels off or, yeah. You read people's energy, you're able to feel people that have passed on rather than see them or hear them.
Yeah, that's I've never heard of that. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it sounds like you need to be charging for those matchmaking services.
Yeah, I know, right? I told my husband, oh, sorry, hold on. There's a leaf blowing outside and my dog's barking at it. She barks at everything. But yeah, I told my husband, I said, I think I'm gonna just on this platform, I said, I think that's gonna be like my content, my niche. But yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's just But yeah, it was I've had quite a few experiences.
You should look into honing your skill with that and that was a beep.
It's a diabetes monitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's glucose.
But yeah, it's something that I would say you should hone your skills and, maybe take up meditation if you haven't already, just to kind of like give yourself.
I do that.
Okay. Be more introspective and kind of tap into that more and practice it more because it's a gift,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we appreciate you so much coming up and sharing
you're
that
welcome.
with us, and you'll
You're
have to come
welcome.
back sometime and tell us
I
some more
will.
stories.
This was fun. Yeah, I have a procedure scheduled on my back tomorrow, and hold on. I've got a procedure scheduled for my back in the morning because I'm about to have back surgery. So yeah, I won't have much to do. But sit and think.
Yeah, well, I hope that goes well and you feel better and everything. And we'll be back on tomorrow night if you're in the mood to come hang out with us.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I feel like there was a question that I was going to try to answer. Oh, Ollie's here. Bean, hang on a second. I'll hold you just a minute, but you can't climb up my skin. Hey, Ollie.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry I'm a little late. I was stuck inside the theater. How'd it go today?
We've had a wild night. It's been slow, but I told everybody, I was like, you wait 10 minutes till like 2, we'll get a bunch of requests, and we do. We have like a ton of people in the box. So,
And that's good.
So, yeah, let me go ahead and, okay, Bean, hang on. He's wanting me to play fetch with him. He'll probably jump on top of me. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's got this little fuzzball thing that he's playing with. And like I throw it for him and he goes and he gets it and he brings it back.
That's so cute.
Oh my god, I missed the Marine Dogman dude.
You did. He was here like 2 or 3 times. The third time he dropped out of the box. But yeah, it was
Did
wild.
we catch something? We got a sample? No.
He never gave us a straight answer. I don't know what happened.
I think his English was a little bit blurry from having some refreshments before hopping on stream.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wish. I got nothing at home. I am dry. But yes, I'm glad there's some activity today for you guys. Yeah, I was just stuck in a movie theater. It was a good movie though.
What did you see?
The Bad Boys movie.
The old one?
No, it was a new one that just came out this weekend.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Yeah, it was interesting. It was pretty good. But yeah, I recommend it if y'all have seen the other ones. Yeah, really good.
Apparently, also, and I missed it too, there was a talking fruit fly story.
There was.
Was a fruit fly talking to them at that same time?
No, I think the fruit fly. So I think he said it escaped. I don't know, guys. In the comments, if you were here, what did he say happened to it? I thought he said his girlfriend opened the door and accidentally let it out. I don't know. It was some kind of mutant fruit fly, and it could talk. And it was a beautiful story of love and loss and betrayal. But
I missed so much. Okay, tomorrow will be on time.
Let's see. All right, we got some people waiting. Guys, you all should have been here an hour ago. We ain't gonna get to everybody tonight. I can already tell you. It's been slow, and then everybody comes later. Hello, welcome.
Hello? Oh, it works. Cool. This is the first time I've ever done this. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's really cool. Cool. I am seriously feeling extremely ignorant right now. I have not been in a chat room since AOL. I'm dead serious.
Wow, that's.
I'm
I remember
45.
AOL.
I'm 45. AOL happened when I was about 18. And I used to like absolutely stalk chat rooms because I love people. I love talking. I love visiting. But anyways, that's besides the point. I do have one story to share, and I want to get my story out so that other people can get their story out. Okay. And thank you for being so welcoming and teaching me the roundabouts of the new chat rooms. I appreciate that. So do you guys know what a Wendigo is?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Does anybody need a clarification? Because I don't know their exact explanation.
No, you're good.
I know what they. I could probably describe to you what they look like, but I don't know exactly what they do, except for the fact that when you've encountered one, they are absolute menaces. And I actually have been where I live now. I'm in Sydney, Iowa. I'm not ashamed to say that. So I don't care for who knows. But it's a small town in southwest Iowa, and we've had Wendigo actually haunt my family. And I live with my brother, and my little brother, he's 16 months younger than I am. So but this Wendigo didn't attach to our house. This Wendigo attached to our family because when I moved here, it somehow found its way here, and my brother says it's the same Wendigo that's been bothering him. And what I decided to do when we finally moved in together is that it would make extreme noises outside. Like when when you have, okay, say you're sitting at your table, at your kitchen table, right? And all of a sudden you hear at the door or on the window, and you look outside and nothing. Or you're sitting by outside, and we have this set of chimes, okay? Well, the Wendigos have been known to mimic other sounds. Well, our chimes will go off, and then the Wendigo in the background, it's like, I don't know, 2, 3 a.m. The Wendigo in the background will start chiming back at the chimes, and going back and forth and letting me know it's there. And there's just, oh my God. And I don't believe that it wants to harm my family, but it does like to scare us, because my brother has actually seen it. It's only just jump scared me. And when my brother was camping at my mom's house, this is why I say it didn't attach to our house, it attached to my family. My brother was camping at my mom's house in her backyard, because they like to do those camping things in the summer, where we live in the same small town, but they're both camping fanatics. So she'll go over and camp in our backyard, and he'll go over and camp in her backyard, and we'll just visit like that. I don't do the camping because I'm sorry, I'm an indoor girl, and the camping just sucks. But they were camping, and they both had their individual tents, and that Wendigo started bothering the tents, actually poking at the tents. How did he describe it? He said that it was causing disturbance with, you would hear the scratching on the tent. You know how tents sound when you scratch on them? Something would be scratching on it from the outside, and he would go out, and there would be nothing at all. And it would make mimicking sounds. It would mimic my brother's voice, because I would hear my brother calling to me. Anyways, I'm like I said, I don't personally believe that this one Wendigo itself is malicious intently. I just think it's very what do you call it? What's the word? Mischievous? Is that the word I'm looking for? But yeah, that's my story. I don't tell a lot of people, because most people think I'm just nuts, but I totally believe in Wendigos, and I think, and like I said, I think it's like a human person. It's individual basis on whether or not it is malicious. And I don't think the one that follows my family is malicious. I just think it's extremely annoying. how do I
Well, one question real quick. Do you think
yeah.
that there's any chance that this could be a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot?
Well, no, because my brother has literally seen its physical form. And he showed me a picture of a Wendigo. That's why I know it's a Wendigo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I told him that I have experienced the same thing, only it follows my family. See, we've had the same experiences, but it does feel like the same soul. Does that make sense? It's not a two different Wendigos, or it's not two different souls. It's like the same entity that is following us no matter where we reside. It is my family's Wendigo, so to speak. And Tony's physically seen it. I've only personally heard it. And we've all felt it. Even my mom has felt its presence. And
What did
I
it
don't.
look like?
What did it look like? See, that's the problem that I have to describe. Do you want me to get my brother in here to describe what it looked like? Because he's out in the living room. I can bring the phone to my brother. Hold on.
Okay.
Because he described it way better than I could, and hold on. I'm not kidding, Tony. Remember when you described to me how the Wendigo looked when you saw it?
Yeah.
Can you describe it to them? They're asking me that.
Oh,
Because I've only
okay.
physically heard it, and you've seen it.
Yeah.
And they're Can you guys ask your question again, so my brother can hear you?
I was asking, what did it look like?
Oh, okay. I've never even really seen a Wendigo before I actually looked this up. But it looked like it was standing on its rear feet, and its rear feet were definitely hooves, like a deer. And there were these circles of bones floating around its ankles that were making these tinkle, 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 tinkle sounds like bones clacking together, hollow bones, like, instruments, making these tinkle sounds, like that. They were floating around its ankles, and I remember it had a very emaciated figure, like the torso itself was humanoid, but still covered in fur. Its arms were too elongated to be human, but they were like humanoid. It's like hard to describe. It had long fingers with claws at the end, and its head was very similar to those creatures that you would see in Time Bandits, because it's like a deer skull with like huge antlers on it is what it looked like, but only the mouth itself was full of sharp teeth, and for the longest time I was like looking for it, because I was like it looked like I went on the internet and I was like looking for a centaur looking thing, because the lower half was like a centaur, but I was like centaur looking thing with a deer head, and I looked and looked and looked, and the image that kept coming up over and over again when I was looking on the internet was actually a creature that was called a Wendigo. And I started doing some research and stuff, and there's different versions of Wendigo, I guess, but the one that I had seen was most definitely one that's known, according to my research, one that's known around the northern regions of this country, I guess. And I didn't even, like I said before, I had to research what it was, because it was very odd looking and I had never seen anything like it before. And that was the first time that I had actually seen one in person. And I remember it frightened me so bad that I remember I told it, be gone in Jesus' name, and then it seemed to get angry at that and grumbled deeply when I said that, and then it ran off into the forest. So that was my experience with it.
And see, I've only just heard it, and it's never actually harmed me. So I've only ever thought it was just being freaking what do you call it?
Annoying?
Yes, annoying. And so if I had seen it, though, I think I would have peed my pants, because what you
ugly.
described is terrifying. But I honestly have only just it's only jump scared me, and I still think it sits around and just to knock on our windows, because I have looked several times. I have my office that I was in when I was talking to you guys, has it's a sunroom, on a house that it has a indoor kind of porch, I guess. Well, I just have one of those. That's where my office is, and I do my art in there and stuff. And it's got like eight windows, and normally, I'm not a don't have a problem with having eight windows, but my issue is that at night it will be quite jarring because I'm a night person, that nothing's happening outside at all. It's not even windy, and then all of a sudden there's a bang at your window. And you look and nothing is there. That's fucking scary. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I forget myself sometimes. But anyways, that was my brother's um side of the story. I told you
Yeah, the
it's followed
description
a full.
definitely matches what a Wendigo looks like. They come out of Algonquin mythology, and they tend to have
We didn't
more,
even know what it was until Tony.
cannibalistic.
My brother did the research on what exactly he saw, because um he was like, dude, he described it to me, and I'm like, I don't know, centaur. Well, I was like him, I don't know, centaur. But a centaur has a bullhead. That's not a centaur. I think I need to do more research on Wendigos, because I certainly never felt malicious presence from them. Tony did, apparently. I was wrong about that. I'm sorry, guys. But I have never personally felt malicious from it. It feels like it's really seriously trying to get on my nerves and scare the living crap out of me. But it is the same entity, because of the fact that when we described how we met it, not personally met it, like seriously, it just stalks us. But if we personally met it, I think I would just cry. But I don't have the guts for that.
Yeah,
But
seems like because this kind of entity is very well known to attack people's psyche, to a point
really,
where, yeah, to a point where you are lost and you're possessed by it. It is
so
I mean, if
so
it's a
seriously,
Wendigo,
it could be
yeah.
seriously trying to get in my head when it scares the crap out of me.
That's how they work, as according to our native legends. That's how they want to like go in. They typically prey upon like people who are like lost and to a point where you
Oh
guys
my
have
god, that
sustenance,
explains
right?
so much. I have been seriously um going through a midlife crisis for the past 3 years since I moved here. I
Yeah,
I've
I
been
would
trying to find out
definitely
my
consult.
I've been
Yeah, I
trying
would consult a shaman,
I would
um,
too. Do you
to
know any?
confirm
I don't know
and
any.
protect.
Oh my god, I totally believe in shamans. I don't know any shamans personally, so I can't I can't. Oh my god. I would
And do
totally.
try to ignore it. Next time it's like you hear something, you really didn't hear nothing. Put on headphones, listen to some very loud music. You didn't see anything if you saw something too. Best thing to do is just kind of ignore it and try to don't go looking for it.
Oh, I
Go
haven't had
away.
the guts to even try to look for it. Oh my gosh. Oh, it jump scares me that badly. And I seriously thought it was just trying to be annoying.
Well, don't be afraid. Just, eat healthy, eat well, and have a lot of nourishment and be thankful for the nourishment. Shelter, food, all of that.
That sounds like great
It kind of
advice.
helps.
That really sounds like great advice because I've been trying to eat healthier. There has been so many changes in my life past 3 years. I've been struggling, and it has been like seriously. I have been searching for all of these answers that I don't have, and I completely believe in paranormal things. I know things happen for a reason, and I know that people aren't just bullshitting out there when they say they've encountered this stuff. And it's just amazing to me to finally find somewhere that people believe me when I tell them that no, it's I'm not jumpy. This has seriously happened to me, and it's following my family, and I don't know why. It doesn't just affect me. It affected my brother. It affected my mom. It affected my mom's grandson, another sister. She's not technically our sister, but by blood, but by marriage she is. And her grandson has encountered it, and it follows my family, dude.
I, I would definitely seek to heal. Negative energies, negative entities come after people, who like feel the way you do. And sometimes it's life in general that also does that. It's better to um, seek holistic healing, seek some professional advice, and Cat Mama saying, is your family possibly native, or are you on native land?
Well,
Um,
I don't like considering myself any part native just because I don't feel like I'm worthy of it, honestly. But my mom was says that I'm 1/16 Nez Perce.
I would try to backtrack, see if you can, find a relative tribe, to like kind of like, speak with an elder and kind of give you answers, but yeah, definitely, don't be disheartened. Try to take some deep breaths, drink a lot of water, eat very well, and try to seek holistic healing. And if you heard stuff and you're hearing stuff and you see stuff, you know you didn't, especially if it is what you're saying it is.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. That can bring so much peace to my family. It has been a nuisance. Like it's honestly it's not gotten dangerous except for it did start threatening my brother, and he got completely seriously forward with it, and basically told it to back off and leave his family alone. He's the only one that stood up to it, right? And I just I really thought that it was seriously not gonna be a malicious entity, but I didn't. I guess I should have listened to my brother because he was kind of warning me. I was just all like, "Oh, it's fine." But I have this bad policy of ignore it doesn't exist type thing. But I do believe it exists, and that's my issue. I just try not
Yeah.
to put bad things out there are out there. You
Well,
know.
it sounds like that's probably the best policy for this situation is ignore it and maybe it'll go away, possibly.
That's the thing. It's been 3 years that we've lived together now, and it's just gotten more persistent on my end. On my brother's end,
More
no.
persistent on, in your ability to ignore it and,
Yeah.
you know.
No. My ability to ignore it has been weakening. That's what I'm saying. The jump scares are freaking real, guys. I mean, I love this office. This is my workspace. I'm an artist. This is what I do. And it makes me terrified. I am such a night person. It makes me terrified to sit in here at night alone or to go outside and sit on my back porch because it seriously jump scares me so bad. and I can't ignore the sounds. I'm very observant at the sounds of nature, and that is not a sound of nature. Those wind chimes are real. It mimics my wind chimes. It's mimicked my brother's voice. I've heard my brother when I know he's downstairs. You know what I mean? And he calls to me out there, and it's scary a little bit, but I'm just always like, ignore it. It's stupid.
Yeah, there's the old Appalachian saying of if you heard it, no, you didn't. If you saw it, no, you didn't.
That's how I've been approaching it, but it's hard because it is jarring, you know. Then nobody's ever believed me that it's not inside my head before, except for my brother, because he said he's had that issue too. And my mom and my nephew believes me because they've encountered it too. And oh my God, it's like those are the only people on this freaking earth that even believe that I wasn't crazy. And
Well, you'll definitely have to keep us updated on this and let us know how it turns out if you have any other encounters and stuff with
dude,
it. We appreciate you so much coming up and
I'm
sharing
going
your
to,
story. And
definitely take what was her advice, or was it him? I'm sorry, I don't know if it was a guy or girl speaking. I don't have my glasses on.
I think it was Ali that gave you.
Ali, okay. Thank you for the advice about the Native American tribe. I will look into that. I will try to find one that's close to me. It's hard because I'm way out in the boonies, but
Yeah, and keep us updated. We'd like to hear how it turns out and
totally come back,
everything.
you
And
guys. I'll totally
yeah,
come
thank
back.
you so much for coming up and sharing this story with us, though. And I hope things get better. And hope to hear from you
It's
soon.
not. I don't want to alarm anyone. It's not horrid, okay? I'm seriously just am startled that that something like that would be. I really didn't want to believe that it was a meanie. You know what I mean? I don't believe that all entities are malicious, and I really wanted to have an encounter with a nice one. That kind of sucks, dude. But
Yeah, it can definitely be a lot to have to deal with something like that. So,
yeah.
but thank you again so much for coming up and sharing your story with us. And we will be back here tomorrow night if you want to stop back in and hang out with
Cool.
us. And
What time? Central time, please.
I go live at 11 p.m. Eastern,
So
so
that'd be
that's
like
Time is 10 o'clock.
10 my time? 10 p.m.?
yeah, I believe
Okay,
so.
I'll be up. So I'll find you guys. I followed you, so I just got to go to your profile for your live or something like that.
Um, yeah, I'll tell you here in a minute because it's part of my outro, and we're getting ready to end the stream because we usually stop at
Okay,
about
I'll get
2.
off.
So,
How,
but
how do I exit out of here?
I
How do
got you. I
Oh,
got you.
thank
No
you.
worries. Thank
Good
you again
night,
for
guys.
coming up. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So go to my profile. This is how you know when I'm live. Go to my profile, find the little bell. There's a little bell at the top of the page somewhere. Click on that and hit live notifications. You can also turn on post notifications too, so you get notified when I post a video as well. And that will notify you every time I go live. So this is the end of tonight's stream, but we will be back tomorrow for more gatherings around the Holler Goblin. More stories.
Bright-tailed and bushy-eyed, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
And I have a feeling our friend the werewolf hunter will probably, hopefully, be back. Hopefully his story will be better tomorrow night. Because he left us hanging on a cliffhanger tonight, I feel like. But anyway, guys.
Yeah.
The saga continues.
It does. And it'll never end, truly, in my mind at least. All right, guys. I don't know. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm talking about. We gotta go. But yeah, we'll be
Closing
back
time.
tomorrow night.
Alrighty.
Good night,
We'll see you
everyone.
all
Good night,
tomorrow.
everyone.
Bye bye.